Brought to you by Moran Buick GMC. Another offensive outburst by the Mets in a 12-5 Tigers loss at Comerica Park last night. The starters Sawyer Gibson-Long and Chris Paddock in his new bullpen role combined to give up all 12 Mets runs. Manager A.J. Hinch says New York was dangerous in a number of ways last night. Mets rookie Nolan McLean earned his fourth win in 4 career starts, 6 innings, a 2-run ball with 7 strikeouts against the Tigers. Wenceel Perez had 2 hits and 2 RBIs. Lions head coach Dan Campbell says center Graham Glasgow should be good to go for the season opener against the Packers after missing time during training camp with an injury. Safety Kirby Joseph is also practicing after his knee injury during camp, but wide receiver Isaac Tesla was missing from practice yesterday. Michigan falls 1 spot to number 15 in this week's AP Top 25. The Wolverines' opponent on Saturday, Oklahoma, is number 18. The new number 1, Ohio State, then Penn State and LSU. Michigan State still unranked. Dylan Larkin hopped on FanDuel Sports Detroit during last night's Tigers game, saying he started captain's practices at Little Caesars Arena before the new season. Larkin calls this season a fresh slate for the Red Wings, saying a mix of young guys and veterans have started arriving in town for the new year. The Wings open up training camp in Traverse City September 18th, and the bench is cleared and 3 players were ejected during last night's 7-4 Giants win over the Rockies at Coors Field. San Francisco first baseman Rafael Devers homered off Rockies starter Kyle Freeland, who took exception to Devers' celebration, and that caused the scrum. At the Corwell Health Sports Desk, I'm Luke Sloan. For more, go to 97.1 The Ticket or Odyssey.com.
Good morning, 97.1. Jim Costa, John Jansen, Heather Park, Govin Gregg behind the glass, and Luke Sloan on the updates this morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing? Did you see that scrum last night? Between, it was the Giants and whoever, I don't remember who it was, but Rafael Devers hits the home run, and he slowly walks to first base. I thought it was awesome. It was fun to see. A little excitement in baseball.
Friskiness.
Yeah.
Let's talk about our baseball team. We got a lot to do today on the show. The Power Surge is back. John will set the tone for the NFL season, his top 6 teams, and layer out some of the other teams too.
Yep.
We have A.J. Hinch on the show today. We have Dan Campbell on the show today. We are giving away Lions tickets on the show today for their home opener against the Chicago Bears. It's part of our new Winning Wednesdays, where you have a chance to win every Wednesday if you can name that Lion. We'll have clues later in the show and a whole explanation. But we are ready to rock today, John.
I know. It's we got a loaded show. It's prep was easy because obviously we got AJ, we got Dan, we got the Power Surge. Prep was a little bit more for me for the Power Surge, and I'm going to take my time working through the Power Surge because I want to enjoy every moment of this football season. I want to enjoy every moment leading up to Today is the final day without NFL football. Today is it. And now tomorrow we get live NFL football results that matter. Let's go.
So you can plan your morning. The Power Surge is 6:35. Dan Campbell is 7:35. A.J. Hinch is 8:02. Let's talk about A.J. Hinch and the Detroit Tigers.
Oh, do we have to?
Yeah, because Tom came up with a great stat, and it's eerie how well this worked. You have the numbers since July 12th versus before July 12th.
No. So it's June 12th. So
sorry.
This team was 45-25 after June 12th. This team is 35-35 since.
So 20 games above 500 in the first 70 games.
Yes.
And then 500 since June 12th.
The last 70 games.
Yep.
It's eerie that it's 70 games and 70 games.
So the question is, will the real Tigers please stand up?
Correct.
Which one is the real Tigers?
Look, for me, it's just the starting pitching. I was going to try to look here. I'm curious what the team's ERA is since June 12th. And seriously, I think the pitching's been night and day. And in that time, they've lost. Olsen pitched a little bit in that window, but Joe was already done. I mean, it's just going this rotation. And I think today's critical in terms of Casey Mize he has really got to gear up here. They need him so bad if they're going to make a postseason run.
He might be the biggest difference between the first half and the second half. First half, he's an all-star. Second half, it's been a disaster, and he pitches today.
Yeah, and we keep talking about, or at least I keep mentioning, you've got to be playing your best baseball when you get to October. Now, I know we're not to October yet. There's still time, but the trend isn't the way you want it to be. You want it to slowly be ramping up, and it doesn't feel like it's slowly ramping up. It feels like the pitching is obviously going the other way when you need, and we talked about Morton, at 41 when he first got here, it was a couple of really good performances. And you could say, well, it's experience. It's also him in being motivated, knowing that maybe he doesn't have a whole lot of more bites at the apple. It was, Paddock, who originally had pitched, I think it was maybe one start that was good. You're like, okay, well, maybe it's a swap for Reese Olson, maybe not quite as good. Well, he hasn't been good. And yesterday he was moved to the pen, and that didn't work. It's just every Flaherty, at least it was every other start that he was performing well. Now it doesn't even seem like we get that. It's like 1 or 2 innings, and then by the time he gets to the next time through the lineup, second time through the lineup, he gets bombed.
A.J. Hinch was asked about starting pitching as you get closer to the postseason. We have that audio. Let's play it for people. Which you kind of have to as a manager, right? You're in the thick of it. But you can cut this however you want. Yeah, they felt good taking 2 or 3 with Kansas City. They've also lost 7 of 9, which is why I think it's convenient or helpful what Tom did, which is, okay, let's just cut it to what it is. First 70 versus last 70. It's 140 games played for the Tigers. You have a team that was 20 games over. You got a 500 baseball team. John, I think they're more the 500 baseball team. And that's a baseball team that's not going anywhere in the postseason.
Well, I mean, that's where they are now. And the question is, what can they do, or how can they get better pitching? They're not going to add anything. They can't add anything. And I know they, Sawyer Brown, like they
Sawyer Long, Gibson Long,
Sawyer Gibson Long. Yeah, 3 names really confuses me. Sawyer Brown. Yeah,
Tom
he's
Sawyer.
a singer, isn't he?
Sawyer Brown, yeah, country singer, right?
Yeah.
Well, John, I'm open to even that as an option at this point. Are there any country singers that Chris Fetter can teach how to throw a knuckleball, and we can see if that works?
But here's the thing is, okay, we knew that September was going to be a tough schedule. And you start off with 3 games against the Mets, and, in 2 of those games so far, you've given up 22 runs. That's not great. And now you got the White Sox. Right, so it should be a get-right moment for the Tigers, but then you got the Yankees and Miami, 6 games on the road. We talked about those 6 games against Cleveland. Now, it doesn't matter. It feels like it won't be an impact on whether or not they win the division like we had originally thought maybe in early July. But you're playing better teams, Atlanta, and then you finish with Boston. Like, it doesn't get any easier other than the 3 that you have against the Sox.
But we're looking big picture here, and he can't. AJ cannot do that. He's exactly right about 48 hours ago. And even to double down on what he said, it hasn't hurt him. The last 2 days have not hurt him. They're still 3.5 up in order of getting one of the top 2 seeds. They are no longer the best team in the AL by a half game. Whoop-de-doo. It's like that can still find itself. They're 20 over. If they play 500 the rest of the way, they're 91 and 71.
Will that get them a first-round bye?
I think 91-71 gets them a bye. Okay. The Astros get the Yankees now for 4 games. So, Look, I think they're going to be fine. And
it gives them a leg up, right? Because you don't have to play that 3-game wild card round.
I mean, 2 out of 3 should be a gimme this weekend. So they're going to hold serve. They had a hot streak before this 7-9 streak. So, in the end, it's all 500. It's all 500 since in the last 70 games. That was my point in this. It's like they are more of the 500 team because they don't have the pitching to be better than that. They don't.
I'm going to be honest with you guys. I don't know what else to tell you at this point. Like, they are an average team for the first, 70 games. they're not advancing in the postseason. They're going to be good enough to win this division, which has been my refrain for a month plus. I think it's maybe 2 months now since that famous guarantee and the burial. They're winning this division. They're not doing anything else.
I think it's painfully obvious. I disagree with you in terms of I think they can win a 5-game series.
Right.
Because you get Scooble twice. If you get the bye, you get to have Scooble in games 1 and then either 4 or 5, depending on how the schedule sets out. And then all you got to do is win one other game.
I know, but who are you giving the ball to right now?
You're going to give it to Charlie Morton in game 2.
Really? Yikes.
Because he's got the experience. Okay, so you're basing that off the last outing.
Last 2. Or how about this? Since they acquired him, where his ERA is north of 5.
Right.
Again, we can cut it up, however, with baseball. He's not been good.
So you're going to pitch Charlie Morton game 2 because of the experience?
So then it's 1-1.
Yep.
And then who am I pitching game 3?
Guess what? It all comes down to Casey Mize.
I'm not even getting back to Tarek Skubal then.
Yeah, but you're also
Wait,
the way
Skubal
you're
wins
saying
game
this.
1.
Yeah, but the way Jimmy, the way you're talking about this is like they can't win a game,
I didn't say
or they're
can't.
never going to win a game.
I didn't say
But
can't.
that's what you're talking
I'm
about.
forecasting. What do we do here?
You're forecasting losses for every
Yeah,
time
based on
Morton takes the
performances.
mound and Mize takes them. But
And
they
you're
don't
giving
lose
Skubal
every
automatic
game.
wins. They don't have to win the Skubal starts. You're automatically giving them Skubal wins.
Exactly, and that didn't work in Cleveland in game 5 last year. So, look, I think
That's why you play the games.
I'm not gonna go as far as you, Jim, in terms of a 5-game series. This team right now, in my mind, I don't see a way how they win a 7-game series.
Yeah.
I don't. Whether it be Toronto, Boston, New York, or even Houston, the Mets are proving that deep lineups can get to this starting rotation over the course of time. I would love to hear from a Tiger fan who thinks they're going to the World Series, because I'm pretty much confident this morning that that's impossible.
It's not impossible.
Unless they change something. What, are you going to go with Melton?
Well, I'd be very curious. AJ has already spoken about Melton and how they love using him in this flexible reliever role, right? Because they could use him on back-to-back days. He says on a night where we need an inning, he gets us to Vest and Finnegan. On a night where we need him to go 3, he can go 3.
Yeah, but at some point, like to your point, right?
Yeah.
If they're going to lose every time Flaherty takes the mound, or Morton takes the mound, or Mize takes the mound, and I'm not saying Melton is your number 2, but is there a consideration, especially if you get into the postseason, that Melton goes back into the starting rotation?
And let me ask this quick. Skubal, 7-game series, automatic 3-time starter.
Assuming
If
you can line it up.
If you
yes.
can line it up.
Yes.
Is that like a mandatory thing at this point? Because that's
Games 1, Games 5, and Game 7 if necessary.
like that's abnormal. No, it'd be 1-4-7.
Yes.
That's the old school way. Most teams don't do that anymore.
Playing for a World Series at that point.
use his arm. He's not on a contract.
Good point. 248-539-9797. Will the real Tigers please stand up? It's 97-1.
FanDuel is getting you ready for kickoff with an offer you won't want to miss. New customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you just simply win. That's right. Pick a bet $5, and if it wins, you're going to unlock $300 in bonus bets to use anywhere in the app that you want. And you can build parlays, bet player props, ride the live lines, whatever your style, whatever you want, FanDuel has got you covered. The NFL season is finally here. The only question is, are you ready to play? All you have to do is visit FanDuel.com/971 Detroit to download the FanDuel app to get started today. That's FanDuel.com/971 Detroit to get started. Must be 21 or over and present in Michigan. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as now withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Are you ready for a straighter smile without the metal braces? That's the important thing. If you've been thinking about Invisalign, now's the perfect time to make the move with Brightside Dental. Invisible, comfortable, and now more affordable than ever. Free Invisalign consultation with no pressure, just answers. And if it's right for you, you can start your Invisalign journey for as low as $59 a month. Straight teeth, straightforward pricing, something to smile about. Mention Jim Costa in the morning show. Lock in that price. 1-800-PAINLESS, BrightsideDental.com. That's Brightside Dental. No judgment, just care. Tigers bombed back-to-back days by the Mets. 22 runs. Stat we gave you, their last 70 games, they're 35-35. They were 20 games over the first 70 games of the season. But reality is setting in, and the rotation right now is a real problem. Ticket texters. Guys, I never thought Job getting hurt could cost us a World Series.
Well, so here's the other question, and I don't know if today's the day that we ask AJ, but what is the hope or belief that Reese Olson will be back in October?
Today's as good a day as any.
Yeah.
I would say, with that, I would actually, what you just said, John, about Olson, it's not Job, because Job was going to be on a pitch count, and who knows how they would have navigated all that throughout the year. But Olson, I really do think that could cost them a chance to get to the World Series, simply because people don't like the quality start stat. I think this is an example of why the quality start stat is good. Simply give your team a chance to win the game late. They're not giving themselves a chance with this rotation.
No, you score 8 runs, you'd think, okay, odds are you're going to win, but you give up 10.
Yeah. Text says it's the American League. It's wide open. Anyone can win it. Little luck involved, and the Tigers might get there. Tigers shorten up their pitching in the playoffs, go to the World Series, relax. Well, here's the problem. You shorten it down to, instead of 5, you go to 4. We don't even know who 2 is. Ticket Texter says they can't just line up. Why can't they just line up starters? Skubal, then Morton for 2 or 3, then Herder for 2 or 3. You piece it together. Yeah, but in a 7-game series? I mean, forget.
That's not doable.
No.
They showed last year just how pinched they got in a 5-game series, and it comes down to Skubal delivering to win the series. And he pitched well, but eventually...
It was one pitch.
Right.
Says, I've been saying it for 6 weeks. Casey Mize has a tired arm. He's gotten more innings than last year. He's coming off a significant injury. They need to skip a start and start Troy Melton. They're going to ruin this guy if they don't watch what they're doing. Another text says, Cookies has lost his cookies. And this one says, I hope you have good health insurance. John sounds angry this morning.
I'm not angry, and I'm trying not to be angry with you. I'm just very excited that we have football tomorrow. NFL football.
Yes. Please ask Cookie Boy not to tick off our coaches this morning. I got 2 shots to do it.
I kind of gave you that warning a little bit, kind of a backhanded comment in the pre-show prep.
Look, there's a lot to talk about with Campbell and with AJ Hinch today.
Yeah,
For AJ,
how do you, since June 12, have you been doing a good job? You guys are 35-35. It kind of feels like you're kind of
That's not the direction I want to go today.
But if you just said, since June 12th, you're 35-35, are you doing a good job? If you did it that way,
I'm not going to do that.
If you did it that way, he might hang up because he wouldn't even know that it's 35-35 probably.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
And I'm not trying to blindside him. I do want him to try to answer who his number 2 pitcher is, and I think he's going to do the game of we have till October to figure out, but that's also an answer that you don't have a number 2 pitcher. And I'm not trying to be a jerk about it, but I think it's a fair question. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think there's a question about Melton. You've asked him in the past, kind of the game plan with Melton, moving Paddock to the bullpen.
Oh, yeah. I mean, a lot of the questions today are going to be about the pitching staff.
Yeah.
Have to be.
Yeah.
Maybe the question is this: in the last few weeks of the season here, how crucial is it for a number 2
to
emerge? Yeah. Is that fair?
Yeah.
But he's a big boy. He knows what we're
especially
saying.
in the morning. I mean, you want a number 2 to emerge?
Every time we talk about the Tigers number 2, we get poop jokes. That's what this turns into. which is maybe fitting with how well they've pitched lately. All right, so we're going to get into the Power Surge at 6:35, but first we've got Heather with the news.
Well, 2 men were arrested over the weekend in Port Huron after being caught in a child predator scheme. It was just like that show To Catch a Predator. You remember that?
Chris
It was
Hansen?
it was a good show, but always kind of it was made you a little uncomfortable. And
Take a seat. What are you doing here?
it was good. It was a good show. But anyway, authorities say both men had been talking with this person online who they thought was 14 years old.
Gross.
They both arranged, to meet her, but instead we're not met by her at all, but we're met by camera crews. Busted there.
It would be, I think, a better show if instead of the camera crews can be there, but instead of meeting the camera crew, they should meet the dad.
Oh.
I think that would be ideal. Hey, this has been happening, and we want you to meet the individual who is, 28, 30 years old that is talking to your 14-year-old.
But this isn't a real 14-year-old in
That's
this
the
case.
problem.
No, okay. All
And
right,
I think in the show, too, is how it was. They weren't actually speaking with a 14-year-old. It was somebody posing as a 14-year-old.
To catch these creeps.
Yes. But if it really was...
yes.
That would be great.
Please call me first.
Yes, exactly. A Houston man has been charged with murder after fatally shooting an 11-year-old boy who knocked on his door and ran away as a prank. The boy was doing a ding-dong ditch game with his cousin. The little boys were at a birthday party, apparently. Thought the party wasn't so fun, got a little bored, and thought, let's go ring some doorbells and run away.
Fire.
He did. That's exactly what happened. Happened on Saturday night. The guy was just arrested on Tuesday. A 42-year-old man identified as Gonzalo Leon Jr. He was taken into custody. Apparently, the cousin who survived said the boys knocked several times on Leon's door, ran away. And then on that final knock, Leon came to the door holding a pistol, fired once into the ground, and then at the boys. Witnesses say the suspect, though, came out of his door, ran down the street, and was firing down at these boys. The boy was shot in the back, died on Sunday. Autopsy reports indicate that the boy was at least 20 feet away when he was shot. Police believe that the guy, Leon, does not have a strong case for self-defense under the state law in Texas. So, a new $10 million indoor pickleball facility could be coming to Metro Detroit. Could be pretty cool. The city of Sterling Heights just presented this proposed site for its indoor pickleball facility at a city council meeting. And the proposal includes the purchase of the property, which would be on Van Dyke Avenue near 15 Mile. And it would be transformed into a state-of-the-art pickleball facility. Lots of things included. So obviously, 9 official pickleball courts, 6 tournament-ready table tennis courts, gathering areas, cafe spaces, meeting and party rooms, locker rooms, and then some
Can we just call
amenities.
table tennis ping pong?
They're one and the same.
It
I know,
sounds more formal.
but the table tennis people get really offended when you
because
say
it's like-
ping pong. Yes.
Ping pong's like demeaning.
Yes.
So these facilities are unbelievable.
Yeah.
There's one that's opening up in Northville, and it's
Okay.
right behind the Ward Church there on 6th and Haggerty. And Ellie had a little softball thing going on behind it in the fields.
Yeah.
I had no idea it was going to be there, and we drove by it, and I'm like, oh, what's this new building? And it's literally like a pickleball center. And it's a beautiful building. Huge.
Let's hope pickleball, the fad, never
Goes away. Yeah. I know, because then there'll just be a lot of ping pongs.
It'll be a lot of empty buildings. For sure. Hey, for just $299, you can go on a limitless adventure. Maybe. I'll tell you a little bit about it. So Frontier Airlines just announced its annual Go Wild tickets, which it's called, they say it's its biggest all-you-can-fly annual pass deal ever, with 2 years of limitless adventures for one price of $299. So through September 5th, you can go and buy this deal. It normally costs $599, but it's on sale. But while it sounds like, well, that's awesome, you can just fly wherever you want for 2 years for $300. There's critics that say, hold on, there's a lot of fine print, and it's not quite... If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is too good to be true. Somebody did this last year. A YouTube couple kind of tried this deal and flew wherever. They took 14 flights, including 2 international ones, using the pass. But they say when they added up all the cost of all the extras to get where they wanted to go, there really was no big discount.
So you have to still pay?
I think there's a lot of things about like which flights you can go on, which hubs you can fly out of, things like
Fine
that.
print.
They said it would
restrictions.
be better for maybe a spontaneous traveler who's just doesn't really matter
care
where
they're
they're going
or how they get there. It's just
and maybe doesn't care about more perks. You can,
Yeah.
So
it's it's
be
a
cool.
single individual's ticket.
finally, there was a man in LA who flew home on Friday, and he couldn't find his luggage at baggage claim. You sit there and
Been
it's
there,
like my biggest
done
fear is
that.
like, oh gosh, where's my bag? They're just going around the same bags over and over. But he had an air tag inside of his bag. So he checked to see where it was, and he saw that it was moving away from the airport towards the rideshare area. So he said, you know what?
I'm going to get
Somebody
it.
stole it. I got to find it. So he started chasing after it. He eventually saw it stop at this like abandoned building about a half mile away. So he called the cops. Right
Yeah,
thing
don't
to
go
do.
in yourself.
Well, they found several people inside this building, and lined up all the people. And one of the guys in the building was wearing the man's clothes. So this all happened very quickly. Went through his luggage, wearing his clothes. He was allowed to go. I guess police said, okay, you can go and collect all your things. So he had to go around this building, collect all his things. He said about 90% of his stuff he was able to get back.
Jeez.
Strange.
Why steal a random bag of
Very
luggage?
strange. Well,
I don't know. Maybe he needs some clothes.
just taking a shot.
Chance,
See what's
maybe
in
there's something
there.
valuable in it. It's Heather with the
Strange.
news. Coming up next, the Power Surge. Where's John going to rank the Lions? Who's the number one team? And I'm really curious about that next group just outside. It's 97.1.
Hey, it's Heather, and if you're like me, you like knowing what to expect, especially when it comes to your phone bill. Well, Verizon's got some big news for your peace of mind. For the first time ever, they're locking in low prices for 3 years. That's right, 3 years guaranteed with my plan. So if you're thinking about making the switch to Verizon, this is for you. You can get a single line for a low price of just $50 a month when you switch and bring your phone on unlimited welcome with autopay plus taxes and fees. And again, that price is locked in for 3 whole years. Because at Verizon, they've got your back, now and in the future. So go ahead, take one thing off your worry list. Visit your local Verizon store in Detroit and ask about their 3-year price guarantee today. $20 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Price guarantee applies to then current base monthly rate. Additional terms and conditions apply.
You know it. Football season back. And John, you got a tall task. We haven't watched anybody play yet.
Yeah, so there's a lot of speculation in this, but I think there's some things that we could base a lot of this on. There's additions, subtractions for every team, anticipation for the competition the Lions face this year. And so I'm going to start at the bottom. So the Power Surge, just for those that have not heard this before, I rank the top 6 teams. And I've got 14 teams that I want to discuss. And I'm going to take my time. I'm going to try and be as calm as I possibly can be and control my emotions as we approach the football season, being the last day that we have no NFL. And I'm going to start with basically 14 through 10.
Whoa, okay.
Those 5 teams that I think there's some flaws. And if they're able to have some individuals step up and play well, if they're able to put some Band-Aids on some things, could jump up throughout the course of the year. And
so these are like fringe playoff teams here.
Yes. I think they'll be in the playoffs, but we'll talk about 5 teams here. The Chargers, the Rams, so we'll go with the 2 LA teams, the Houston Texans, Cincinnati Bengals, and the Minnesota Vikings.
Okay.
And the Chargers, all right, they've already lost their starting left tackle. They've moved Joe Alt over there. They're trying to put a Band-Aid on the offensive line. But the question is more their pass catchers. Like, did Quentin Johnson learn how to catch a ball this offseason? Keenan Allen is old.
Yeah.
And Ladd McConkey, well, I think there's great promise there. If the other 2 can't perform or can't perform well enough, then you're going to get double him up and bracket him and do a bunch of this stuff. And then you got Omarion Hampton, who I think is going to be a very good running back. But again, you go back to the offensive line. And then defensively, they've lost a couple of guys. So there are some flaws with the Chargers. The Houston Texans, I don't know what they're doing with that offensive line. They lost a guard. They obviously lost Laramie Tunsil, who is now in Washington. We'll talk about him more in just a moment. But Houston is a team that I think C.J. Stroud, and the defense is really good. But have they done enough to protect C.J. Stroud? Under duress, yes, he's mobile, he can move around. But we saw last year, he needs to be protected to be able to throw the ball efficiently. The Rams, and I really think the Rams, it just simply comes down to the health of Matthew Stafford. That's a huge question mark. And if he's not there, they're not. I don't even think they're a playoff team. Although, what is it? Jimmy G is their backup, so who knows? Cincinnati, their defense is pretty much the same. And what was the weak part of their team last year?
Defense.
Defense was terrible. They're going to score a lot of points. And when the Lions go down there, it could be an absolute track meet. Could be a lot of fun to watch, but I just don't see them, playoff team, but I think they're limited. Minnesota, kind of the same thing. Rookie quarterback. What are you going to get with J.J. McCarthy? I just have no idea. They got a lot of weapons around them, a good offensive line and a really good defense, but it's going to come down to how much did he study the game? How much was he around last year while he was rehabbing to learn this offense and be, good in his second year, but really his first year as a starter. And then that next tier. So that's the bottom 3 tier, bottom third. The next tier, tier 2. I've got Washington, who improved their offensive line with Laramie Tunsil. I think he's really good. Weapons offensively, they've improved. But I don't know what they're doing in the backfield. It just seems a little bit risky to say, okay, well, we want the quarterback to be able to do everything. And defensively, they didn't do enough to be able to stop the run. That was their one bugaboo last year, and the Lions did not expose that or utilize that to their advantage. And I just don't know that they did enough defensively to be a threat to get to the Super Bowl.
And who are the heavy hitters in the NFC? They're teams that love to run the ball.
Yes. And then you've got Denver, who I think is maybe the best defense week in, week out in the NFL. Bo Nix in his second year, okay, is there a sophomore slump like we saw with C.J. Stroud? Or does he continue to, perform with an offense that they've addressed some of the weapons? And one of the great offensive minds in Sean Payton, like him or not, as an individual, is a hell of a coach. So they're right there outside the top 6. And then the other one that's just outside the top 6, is Green Bay. And I would have had this, and you guys know this. I talked about this extensively when we were talking about, okay, who's the biggest threat for the Lions in the division? I was always on Minnesota. That's flipped. And Green Bay with Micah Parsons has elevated. Now, we don't know how effective he'll be. Will he be as effective all season long with whatever he has going on with his back? And we'll discuss that in another segment. But I think with Rashawn Gary, Micah Parsons, that defense, while not great in the secondary, I don't know that they're going to have to be. It's going to be a lot of quick passes, and it'll allow them to do a lot of things. But offensively, the reason that they're not in the top 6 is Jordan Love, receivers, not a lot of great weapons. If Jordan Love outperforms a lot of my expectations, which he can, I just don't count on it, they could certainly be one of the top 6 teams, which brings us to the top 6.
Here we go.
The top tier of the NFL. With number 6, I've got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And Tampa they've got one of the top 6 or 7 offensive lines. And as the season goes on, could possibly have one of the top 3 offensive lines. It's solid. Top 10 defense. You put that together with a playmaker like Baker Mayfield. Now the question is going to be age of some of the receivers, health of the receivers. That's where I have the biggest question. Number 5, this is where the Lions come in.
Okay.
Best, I think they have, of the skilled positions, the best weapons surrounding their quarterback in the NFL. And is there a better running back? Sure, Saquon Barkley, maybe Derrick Henry, but not a better pair of running backs. The receivers, especially with Isaac Tesla, a part of the equation. I think they have great weapons. The question for them is unproven interior of the offensive line. And I do think the Lions are going to have a top 10 defense. I love the secondary. 2 best safeties in the NFL. And then Terrion Arnold taking a huge leap forward in year 2.
Yet only number 5.
Yeah, but only at number 5 right now because there's just, again, there's still question marks, coordinators, all that stuff. Kansas City comes in at 4. And I have a question. I always question their offensive line because Patrick Mahomes, and the reason they're always going to be a top 4 team is Patrick Mahomes. When it comes down to it, 1-score games, they were 10-0 in 1-score games last year.
And some of that is Mahomes plus Reed plus Spagnuolo. That's an infrastructure.
Right, but I just think if they have the ball in their hands in under 5 minutes in a 1-score game, the odds, the win always goes to Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
So they're at number 4. And their left tackle is Josh Simmons, who they drafted in the first round. And he's from Ohio State.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with, but it has to do with me watching him on film. I just don't think he's a great left tackle.
And they got to replace Joe Thuney, which is a big deal.
Mm-hmm. Number 3 is Buffalo. Explosive offense. And I think one of the top 2 quarterbacks in the NFL, could be the best one. He's reigning MVP, and a lot of things I like about Josh Allen, his game, a lot of things everybody likes about him. They added to the defense. That was one of the shortcomings last year, and I think it was 6 of their 7 picks were on defense. However, their first pick, Maxwell Hairston, is on IR. All right, so and he's a corner. And it's all about defense. If the defense can step up, they should be a top 1 or 2 team. Philly is number 2. New right guard. So I'm not saying they go from a top 2 offensive line to, out of the top 10, but it still remains to be proven if he's going to be good. And new edges on defense. The interior of that defensive line is as tough as you're ever going to face.
Yep.
Number 1, Baltimore. I think top to bottom, the most talented roster. It's year 2 of an offensive coordinator figuring out how to use Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry. If they do it right, it's indefensible.
Should be unstoppable.
It's crazy. DeAndre Hopkins, another weapon, old, but he can contribute to that offense as another weapon. Jair Alexander, addition at corner. Malik Starks, free safety from Georgia, their first-round pick. I think they have done everything they can to address it. And Nate Wiggins, their other corner, opposite Jair Alexander, second year out of Clemson.
Week 1, Sunday Night Football, is Ravens-Bills.
Oh, I know. Yep. Number 1 versus number 3.
We don't have a Power Surge game of the week, but that's the Power Surge game of the week, man. That's for number 1. The winner of that game is going to be number 1.
It will have to be. And would you say where that game is at? Is that Buffalo?
I think it's in Buffalo.
Yeah.
where the playoff game was, and Buffalo won the playoff game.
Yeah.
It's going to be
the buildup is going to be epic.
Yeah. That's your power surge. We're back. It's 97.1.
Hey, I want to let you know about a highlight, and it's the great value your Metro Detroit Buick GMC dealers are bringing our listeners this month. If you're looking for a stylish SUV, you can lease a new Buick Encore GX or a stunning new Buick Envista for just $199 a month. Both are exceptional by design. Find your perfect Buick. These deals are happening right now at any of your 20 Metro Detroit Buick GMC dealers. Tax, title, license, dealer fees, and optional equipment not included. Dealer sets the final price. Must be a current lessee of a 2020 model year or newer Buick or GMC vehicle through GM Financial for at least 30 days prior to the new vehicle sale. No security deposit is required. Mileage charge of 25 cents per mile over 20,000 miles at participating dealers only. Residency restrictions apply. Visit gmcofferinfo.com for details. That's gmcofferinfo.com.
Staring at John Jansen's Power Surge, his top teams in the NFL to kick off the season. We've got some notes on Micah Parsons and some audio from Jared Goff. We'll get to that at 7:02.
Your thoughts?
I love Buffalo this year, but I understand putting the Ravens right there at the top.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you had the Ravens winning the Super Bowl. I had the Bills winning the Super Bowl. Home field is going to dictate a lot. Buffalo has yet to host the AFC Championship. They play a soft schedule. They need to win this first game for tiebreaker purposes, but it's at their building. Yeah. I really like Buffalo this year. I think I'd put Baltimore 2, Philly 3, so I had the same 3 as you, just in a different order. Lions 5 until you solve some things up front. I get it.
Or I don't know if it's necessarily solve. It's just prove some things.
Okay.
I mean, okay, word soup, but
yeah, same thing.
I agree with your 4, 5, 6. I would have Philly, Buffalo, then Baltimore, top 3. But you're splitting hairs. I see what you're doing. Nothing to debate heavily. I will say this about the Bills and the playoffs and hosting. Look, they've had the Bengals come in and the Chiefs come in the divisional round, and they've lost. I just Buffalo and Baltimore. I've got to see it until I believe it. It's just like you've had your chances.
What about the real debate after the top 5? Because I think that's where the conversation starts.
I think John nailed it
with Tampa.
Yes, and let me give you this: if the Buccaneers can survive first 10, 11 games of the season, this is who they close with. They host the Cardinals. They host the Saints. They host the Falcons. They're at Carolina. They're at Dolphins, and then they host the Panthers.
They can go 5-1 to close the season. And the real chance they're maybe the 2 seed.
I think there's a path to the Buccaneers getting the 1 seed, but still not getting to the Super Bowl.
Right.
But they're a damn good team, and if Egbuka can really, if he can hit the floor running, I think that pick was kind of let's go for it this year because of the Godwin injury.
Mm-hmm. And Evans is older, although super productive. John brought up age and injury. One way to help solve that, first-round stud out of Ohio State, pretty good way to do it.
They also have, again, the Falcons on the schedule. Who knows what they're going to be? I might be dismissing them a little bit, but the Patriots and Jets. I mean,
and the most interesting team he didn't put in the Power Surge, he appropriately put at number 7, right? Green Bay is sitting here going, hey, Parsons is the real deal. We got a young football team. We're the favorites to win the North in Vegas. We win this week. If you're Green Bay, John, they're in the Power Surge.
Yeah. And here's the thing, too, about the. I didn't want to get too deep into this, but my number, I got 14 teams. Number 15, and it's one that I'm just keeping an eye on.
Who is it?
That may start to work into that top half of the NFL.
Can I guess? Is it AFC or NFC?
NFC.
Arizona?
Yeah. And I say Arizona because defensively, they were challenged last year. And I'm not a big fan of Kyler Murray. I've been very vocal about that. But I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to have a breakout second year. I think that offense is one to keep an eye. James Conner is just that guy that he just keeps running hard. And if he could stay healthy, along with Kyler Murray's legs, but defensively, where did Josh Sweat go from the Eagles? He's with Arizona. They got much better defensively. Budda Baker is one of the better safeties.
Will Johnson could end up being a good pick.
Will Johnson could be a great value pick.
Second rounder?
Yeah, second rounder who a lot of people, obviously, we don't have to go rehash the whole story. Thought he was going to be first, and it was injuries, didn't play last year. And there's just a lot that we've heard coming out of Arizona's camp that he is healthy. He's had a great camp. We talked to him on Saturday during the broadcast. And I think their defense could be greatly improved. So they're a team in that division. If Stafford doesn't stay healthy, and I don't know what to make of San Francisco, they could be that 15-16 team right now. But coming out of that division, I think Arizona could make some noise.
My team that you mentioned, you probably have them around 10th or so, that I think could emerge is the Texans.
Yeah.
If Stroud gets back to more rookie form, but also Will Anderson. I mean, he had a pretty solid rookie season.
Oh, sure.
But if he goes elite, that defense is going to be
the defense
great.
Is going to be tough. And you're right. They could work their way even into the top 6. If C.J. Stroud, the question I just have, as I mentioned, is they lost a guard, and I forget where he went. Actually, I think he went to Baltimore. And I know he's the new guard that they have in Philly. But Laramie Tunsil, their left tackle. Like, I don't know why they traded him away. If you are trying to figure out how to continue to protect C.J. Stroud and give him the best chance offensively to match what you have defensively, why are you getting rid of your left tackle?
Talking to people in Houston, he was not liked in that locker room. I know, John.
There's a lot of guys that I didn't like that were just good football players.
Portis?
Not Portis.
Okay. On the Parsons front, Adam Schefter had the initial report that Parsons is dealing with a facet joint sprain in his back. It may need an injection, may need an epidural to play on Sunday. Well, then later in the day, we got some quotes from Micah Parsons' agent. And Adam Schefter passed those along, saying Parsons never planned to sit out the season and would have played for the Cowboys in Thursday's opener against the Eagles had he not been traded to the Packers. That's from his agent on First Take. So my expectation is he's in uniform. Yeah. He's playing against the Lions. Now, John, how effective do you anticipate him being?
More effective when they play him on Thanksgiving than he will be in week one. Because was Micah Parsons going to play in any preseason games? No. But he's not in football shape. There is a thing such as football shape, and I think he can be effective. Is it effective for 25 plays? Is he effective for 35 plays?
Yeah.
Like, I that's where I kind of think it is. And then the second time around, it's more 55, 60 plays where he's on the field and he is doing Micah Parsons things. The whole back injury thing, and I said this all along, it's like, a running back in Buffalo that's holding out, or it's Trey Hendrickson. I know he never really said it was an injury thing, but to me it was always just a ploy of, well, you can't really prove it, so you can't fine me for not practicing or for not being in camp. I think there's a lot of theories around this. I think this is the NFLPA putting some of this stuff out there because in the next collective bargaining agreement, we've already heard it, like the NFL owners want to address, well, you can't just be a sit-in. Like, they want to address this. Yeah. Like, if you are not going to participate, it's either a holdout or you're practicing. There's none of this sit-in stuff. And I think the NFLPA is saying, well, hold on a second here. There was a legitimate reason for Micah Parsons to be out. We don't want that to be a part of the next CBA.
So this is creating essentially a paper trail.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, epidural's no joke. Like, I'm sure there were women listening going, he needed an epidural to play potentially.
Well, okay, it's not unusual to get.
Is it not for an NFL player to get an epidural?
I had an epidural for not for pregnancy, for my back.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I have a herniated disc, and I've done everything for it, including an epidural.
No kidding.
So it's not, that didn't surprise me when I heard that.
On the flip side, okay, if this is a situation that Green Bay maybe wasn't aware of, it could also be Green Bay creating the paper trail of Micah Parsons hid this from us. And if he's not able to perform or if he has to have back surgery, then they could go back and maybe recoup some of the money that they're paying him. So there's a lot of different ways to look at this. And I know there's a lot of people that are thinking maybe Green Bay got some damaged goods. I don't think that.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a game wrecker for them this season.
I think so
maybe
as well.
Not to the same degree week one, which would be to the Lions' benefit.
But, I mean, an epidural would be more extreme.
Yeah, I was actually put out for it.
Were you?
Yeah, like I was put under when I got the epidural for my back. When I got the epidural for pregnancy, I was wide awake, but I was like, give me that.
There's always a long line for
different.
The pharmacist before any NFL game.
Oh, I believe
the line gets
that.
a lot longer as the season goes on.
For sure.
But when it starts, there's always a line to see the pharmacist.
How do they administer an epidural? Is it just needle in the back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Boom. Mm-hmm. And how quickly do you feel it?
Well, for my back, it didn't help at all.
Oh,
for pregnancy, it didn't help at all. So I don't know.
Let's give Micah that doctor.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Send him the name and number of your physician.
Don't go there.
Yikes.
I would imagine you can feel it pretty quickly. I know it. I think they're probably very different a little bit for treating a back than helping
yes,
for pregnancy and
you'd
labor
think.
pain. I mean, because I know when I was pregnant, I had a button. And every time I needed more juice, I could just just hit that.
That's
and it was just
hit that button till
I
you
was
pass
just
out.
like, give me more.
Picture Micah Parsons with the button on Sunday.
Oh yeah.
All right, after Luke Sloan's update, we are going to give you some audio from Jared Goff on the doubts. Remember we used to have the relish drop? We've got a new quote from Jared Goff on the doubt out there following the Parsons trade. It's next, 97.1.
Brought to you by Precision Garage Door Service of Southeast Michigan. The Mets lineup once again too much to handle for the Tigers, who dropped their second straight game to New York 12-5 at Comerica Park last night. Sawyer Gibson-Long, who got the start, and Chris Paddock, who's now in the bullpen, they combined to allow all 12 Mets runs. The start was Gibson-Long's first since June. He says he's comfortable going down, up and down from Toledo, and also back and forth from the rotation to the bullpen. The Tigers, now 80-60 on the year, are still 9 games up in the Central after the Royals and Guardians both lost last night. Some midweek odds for the Lions thanks to FanDuel, 2.5-point underdogs in Sunday's season opener in Green Bay, and they also trailed the Packers in the odds to win the NFC North. Oklahoma head coach Brent Venables, the former defensive coordinator at Clemson, is comparing Michigan quarterback Bryce Underwood to former Tigers quarterback Trevor Lawrence, calling both quarterbacks quick, decisive, and poised. The Wolverines are 5.5-point underdogs against the Sooners on Saturday, and Michigan State will host 5-star 2028 receiver Lorenzo McCullen Jr. during Saturday's game against Boston College. McCullen is ranked as the number 12 overall player in the class by 24/7. The Spartans' 2026 class, fueled by a strong summer, ranks 32nd in the nation. At the Corwell Health Sports Desk, I'm Luke Sloan. For more, go to 97.1 The Ticket or Odyssey.com.
We are a half hour away from Dan Campbell joining us, 7:35 this morning. AJ Hinch, 8:02 this morning. And in between that, I'm going to explain how you can win Lions tickets today on the show.
Let's go.
Let's do
Here
this.
we go.
Now, the Lions are no longer the favorites to win the NFC North according to the sports books. Who cares? You still play the games. Jared Goff was asked about it, and here's Jared Goff's take.
Sure.
He said Vegas has been wrong before.
Yeah. They have.
Been wrong plenty. And he likes to be on the side of the doubted.
So as an athlete, like a lot of times you try and manufacture doubt in your mind or anger or different scenarios.
That's a little Michael Jordan thing. I took that personally.
And so we heard Amon-Ra St. Brown early on in training camp talk about they were underdogs again. They like being underdogs. I don't see them as underdogs. They're still going to be the favorites in a lot of their games. Not all of them because of the schedule, but they're favorites to be in the playoffs. And I don't think you could be a favorite to be in the playoff and be an underdog.
No. And you had them top 5 team in the NFL. A lot of people have them top 5 team in the NFL. This division, I feel like the Packers, the Parsons move moves the needle.
Sure.
But Detroit's owned them in Green Bay, and we're going to find out right out of the gates. That's a tone setter.
It's a tone setter. And, I mean, 2 division games. And I don't even care, right? Okay, Chicago, we don't expect them to be very good, especially early on in the season. They're still division games. It's still rivalries. And the biggest one is you start off in Green Bay late Sunday afternoon, and everyone around the just like we're talking about Buffalo and Baltimore. Okay, they may be the headliner in terms of matchups in week 1. I think second is going to be Green Bay and Detroit.
Yeah.
That's a great matchup because I've got them just outside the power surge. So you're still talking about a team that I've got ranked 5 versus a team that I probably have ranked 7.
Yeah, 2 of the 7 best teams in football.
Yeah. So you got 1, 3, 5, 7.
Yeah, it's a great way to kick off the season. Do fans like being the underdog? Or do fans like feeling like they can puff out their chest and our team's the best?
I think last year may have changed that, where Okay, yeah, we got a chance to puff out our chest all season long.
John, they felt invincible last year.
Yeah, nothing that happened seemed to phase them. No matter if they lost defensive lineman after defensive lineman after linebacker after linebacker after defensive lineman. I mean, you go right down the list. I can keep going saying the same position, 13, 14 times.
20 dudes. How about Sunday Night Football? Goff throws 5 picks, they still win. Like, I remember coming in the next morning going, pinch us.
Yeah.
Like, this team it feels invincible. Do you prefer that, where you are the top dog and you'll take on everybody's best shot? Or do you like show Green Bay some love. Tell us we can't beat the Eagles. Which do you prefer? I'm curious if we could get some response on that this morning. 248-539-9797. What do you prefer?
So I got to imagine, for the most part, it is at the end of the year, obviously you want to be Super Bowl champs. You want to be able to puff your chest out. You want to be able to do that for the next 6 months and walk around king of the castle. Up until that point, I think everybody's fine with being the underdog. Go ahead, underestimate us.
I think this city specifically, Detroit versus everybody, go ahead and cast us aside. You've done it before.
Yeah, go ahead and tell us how much we can't do.
The fan base relishes in that, to use Goff's word, right? I mean, would you agree, having done, lived here your whole life and done radio, like, people here do like the chip on the shoulder.
Yes.
The going to work Pistons, right?
The grit.
Yeah, there you go. You like the grit. Now, at the same time, Lions fans, you got to be honest, because when people say Green Bay's going to win the division, you can't get up in arms because you want that to be the perception then, right? Well, I'm saying, John, does it work that way where if people go, you know what, I think the Eagles are going to the Super Bowl, not the Lions. I think the Packers are winning the division, not you guys. When Kyle Brandt of Good Morning Football comes out and says, the Bears, and holds up a helmet to the camera, shouldn't you like that then? Because now you can play the underdog role and stick it to all these idiots when you go out and win?
No, it could still make you mad.
Okay.
It can still make you mad.
I think one of the things at stake, and we'll really find out about this year, is this is where culture carries you. This is where, like,
the buildup that they've had for 5 years.
All this other outside noise and the hype train that came in here, and give them credit to Commanders, what they did last year and stuff. But, they don't have a culture. The Lions do, but how strong is it? I think that's going to be tested a little bit. I trust that. That's why I'm still a little bullish on the Lions this year.
Well, and it goes to, like, all the people that are downplaying the Micah Parsons trade, especially with some of the the players in Dallas now coming out and putting it out there that Micah was arrogant. He is a me guy. You put that culture into Green Bay, and there might be a honeymoon phase where he doesn't have that sense, but does it take one blow up by Jordan Love and a couple interceptions, and then all of a sudden Micah Parsons says, we did our job.
Well, there's been examples of that in Green Bay that has hurt them. I think Quay Walker has cost them. The Lions don't have that crap. So I think their will, and look, the Lions are still a talented, loaded team. Like, to me, this is truly like the last year where they can probably be this loaded without reloading over a course of a few years down the road.
Yeah.
Like, it should come together barring injury. Like, I think the national media has overlooked how injured this team was last year.
Let's get to Chris in Sterling Heights. Chris, good morning.
Hey, good morning, fellas.
What's up?
Hey, just want to say how important it is. I think the point made there about it coming together after these last couple of seasons, for sure. The preparation, the team's going to be prepared. It's just so important that we start off each game and really take control and stay on the front foot. As long as we do that, I think we'll get to 11. And when it comes time to play the Eagles, same applies. Take the lead early, hold on to it, get aggressive on defense, and let the boys ball.
And they're going to play the Eagles twice. The first is in Philadelphia. The second might be in Philadelphia, right? I mean, if you only win 11 games, you're probably not hosting that playoff game. But the difference between the first meeting and the second meeting might be a healthy Aleem McNeil. It may mean an offensive line that's put a full season under their belt as opposed to half a season under their belt. And it may just be the difference in pulling off that win and going to the Super Bowl.
It could be an addition at the trade deadline.
Could be.
I mean, and I know we floated the idea out there about Trey Hendrickson because he's a one-year deal. I'm not holding my breath to say that that's what we're going to be talking about at that time, but I think it's a part of the equation. Could be a part of the equation.
We'll collect some ticket texts on whether you like being the underdog or you like being the favorite. The hunted versus the hunter. 248-539-9797. Texter says, what do I prefer? eating hot wings dipped in blue cheese while watching us kick Green Bay's ass. I don't care if we're favored or not.
That sounds like a perfect Sunday.
You're Mr. Blue Cheese.
Oh, yes. That sounds like a perfect Sunday.
Ticket text says, yes, Detroit versus everybody. This team is going to feed off of this.
I don't know where those shirts originated. Did they originate in Detroit, where it's Detroit versus everyone?
I don't think Detroit versus everybody originated in Cincinnati.
Well, no, okay, but the insert name versus everyone.
I know, I'm just being a jackass. Texter says, Rex Ryan said it best. Things are best. The best place is when expectations are high. Bring it on. So that's the other side of the coin.
Sure. I mean, you could manufacture an advantage to yourself however it is. It's all how you work the equation in your mind.
The best coaches are psychologists on the side because you are selling to your team the right mindset for that week or that season.
And there's a certain level of expectations that you can't overlook.
No.
And I already mentioned those. Like the expectation is, even with Micah Parsons in the division, that you still win the division 3 years in a row. The expectation is that you're still a playoff team. The expectation is that you make a deep run into the playoffs. And I think that this is a team that should get to the Super Bowl.
Well, the expectations shouldn't be lowered. It's the Super Bowl.
Right. And I'm not going to sit there and say it's a 14-win season. It could be an 11-win season. I don't care what that number looks like. It's just get there. And Dan has said that many times. All you got to do is get into the tournament.
Yeah, to the texter or the caller's point. Texter says a little bit of both, to be honest. I know how good we are. I know the talent this team has, but I'm glad there are doubters. It makes the best. It makes the rise all that sweeter. One pride, baby. Hunting season. Josh at work.
Here's the difference, though. Is okay. We can say all we want. The talking heads on all the 3 and 4 letter channels can say all they want. But the Lions are not sneaking up on anyone anymore. That went away after the 22 season.
You're right. There's no doubt about it. Tim from Ford says, Lions fans love being the underdog. All Detroit fans love being the underdog. Then we can bitch about getting disrespected nationally. Hey, he's not wrong. All right, we've got Dan Campbell coming up at 7:35 this morning. We'll get to Heather's News. And coming up next, I think I know something we're all going to be doing later today. It's 97.1.
Homeowners, Rapid Roofing has your Labor Day deal covered. You just heard Mike right there. For a limited time, you can choose $2,000 off a new roof, or you can get 0% financing until 2030 with approved credit. Their expert crews use the highest quality materials, back it up with the strongest warranties in the business, and finish most roofs in just one day. That's what they did for mine. It was awesome. Call 888-360-ROOF or go to rapidroofing.com to schedule your free inspection. Hurry, offer ends September 30. Not valid with other promotions. Other restrictions may apply. You can see the website, and that website, again, is rapidroofing.com for more details.
Hey, football is back, and I'm bringing you the tailgate must-have, Surfside iced tea and vodka and Surfside lemonade and vodka. They're both absolutely delicious and available in the convenient variety 8-packs. Now, each can of Surfside is only 100 calories, and the best part, no bubbles, no troubles, zero carbonation, so you can tailgate like a champ. Ask for it at your local bars and stores. Must be 21. Please drink responsibly.
The underdog role.
Mm-hmm.
It's Jared Goff. Spoke yesterday.
Prove all the daughters wrong.
Dan Campbell, 7:35 this morning. Back into routine with the Lions head coach every week in season. Now, he'll normally be Tuesdays, but Labor Day, things are shifted. Dan Campbell, 7:35. John, I think we're all doing the same thing later today, if you haven't done it already.
What's that? Oh, buying a lottery ticket.
We're all playing the Powerball.
You know what? I stopped on my way in, and you can't buy a lottery ticket before 5 in the morning.
I didn't know that. Is that like a rule?
Apparently, yes.
Maybe at that gas station? Or?
No, I think it's. I tried it again. I thought it was a place I had stopped because you could buy it with a debit card at some places, other places you can't. But they said no, you can't do it before 5. And this morning I walked in, got some other things, and asked for a Powerball ticket. They said, we can't do it before 5.
But you're going to get it later today.
Oh hell yeah!
1.3 billion.
Yep.
Yes.
See ya.
I'm going to get one in person and buy one online.
Oh, you're going to double dip.
Yeah. Well, I like having
Which one do you think has better odds?
I'd rather have the physical ticket. There's something about purchasing it at a store. Like, I like having that.
Yeah. Well,
but
plus
it's
the
nice to
store
get the
gets a little
email.
bit of the chunk of change if you
True.
win.
Yeah.
And you don't have to worry about not having the digital. Well, I suppose you could lose a piece of paper too.
Oh, gosh. Yeah. But I like getting like that email. You don't even have to think about it. You just get an email from the lottery
says,
if you win or not.
Check your account.
Yeah.
Ooh, check my account. $4.
Hey.
Win is win, but
people who normally don't play the lottery play the lottery when it gets like this, right?
oh yeah, I almost never play,
I never play the lottery
and then
unless it's in my news.
I usually start playing once it gets above 300 million.
Because at 250 million, it's just not
It's
worth
just
it to win
not
the
worth
lottery.
it.
Now, do you do the easy picks or do you pick your own numbers? Like, do you have lucky numbers you have to include?
So I used to do the numbers, and I would go with the kids' birthdays. But now I just do the easy picks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't pick the numbers.
Yeah.
Just let fate decide. Mm-hmm. Although it hasn't worked for me, so maybe I should be picking the numbers.
Well, that didn't work for you last week either, so.
Watch right into that one. All right.
There's no prize for getting them all wrong. It's not like Stoney.
So if you won, would you still work?
No.
Would you just say like tomorrow morning you find out
Well, it's so
you
weird.
just don't show up?
Like, we have a cool job. I love this job.
Right.
I've talked about it. I've wanted to do this job my whole life. I'm doing this job. I
Yes.
love doing this. At the same time, $1 billion to never work again?
Would you give 2 weeks notice?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'll finish out football season. Celebrate the Super Bowl with the
wow.
Lions.
Wow. Oh, thank you.
You can pay for the parade.
I would definitely step away from some of the things that I do. Just some of the, but I don't know that I could tell you which one that would be right now. I really love what I do here. Love calling the games on Saturdays.
And you do have to do something for your days, right? I mean,
Oh, I can fill my days. Yes, there's a
I got
lot
you,
of
John.
there's a lot of
I gotcha.
there's a lot of walleye out there that
Is that what you do? You
I
just
need to
disappear?
introduce myself to. Yes,
I'd love to see your boat if you want.
oh, it'd be unbelievable.
it'd be the same boat I sold a year ago.
You could get a new hog.
I would get a new hog. I would.
You get a new everything. You get new
Yeah.
cars, new house. It's $1 billion. You couldn't spend it even if you wanted to. Would you take the lump sum or the payouts, the payments?
I would do the lump sum. I think everybody does the lump sum. And I don't know. I asked Heather that in her news. I asked all the questions that there's really no answer for. If the only thing I would consider for the annuity would be does it continue past my life? If I don't make it 30 years, which I think the annuity is 30 years, if I don't make it, does it go to Lisa? And
Or
if
next
the
of
answer,
kin.
or next of
Yeah.
kin. Yeah. If the answer is no, then I just take the lump sum.
Right. It's funny. The last time my wife and I talked about this, she said we should do the installments so we don't blow it. Because everybody blows it when they win the lottery.
But you just said you can't.
What do you? Well, yeah, I'm confident in myself. I don't think I would blow
Oh,
1.3
the doubt is in your wife.
It
That was-
happens.
You're
That's
trying to
what I
get me
just
in
heard.
trouble this morning.
That's what I just heard.
Well, every relationship has a saver and a spender.
Yeah.
You can connect the dots. But her thought was, you're safe. You're still going to live like a king or a queen. You just take out the payments. Well,
I don't know.
Heather?
I'd probably take the lump
Yeah,
sum.
I'd do
I think
lump
that's what
sum.
most people do. I would rely on my financial advisor to really point me in the right direction. I can't honestly comprehend that amount of money. Like, what would I do? It's still very basic things I would do. I really want like a cottage somewhere. I'd go and buy like the vacation home. I'd probably upgrade the car, and then
What do you do with the
like
other?
I don't know. I would love to
500
give it away. I
million.
think that would be super fun to just be like, here's some money, help all my family, give my family money. But that amount of money, it's hard for me to actually comprehend.
Yeah.
Would you like buy ownership in a sports team? Because you could with that kind of money.
No, athletes are all a-holes.
Okay. I know. I work with one. Let's get to Heather with the news.
They're all skanks. Apparently.
Whores.
Whores.
Travis Kelce has been having a blast sharing the news that he is engaged to Taylor Swift. There was a little teaser clip for today's episode of New Heights that kind of just shows him gushing over his new fiance, right? And it is a time, and we're all married. We've all been engaged, and it is fun when you start using the word fiance, right? And you get to tell everyone the big news, even though everyone knew the big news without them having to verbally say it to people. But in the teaser, he did go on to say that it's been really fun telling everybody who I'm going to be spending the rest of my life with. And he also said that he appreciates everybody that has reached out and sent something. And he just said, the excitement has been very, very fun. And it should be.
Yeah.
Did he say he asked her dad first?
Yes, I think so.
He
Well,
did? Okay, yeah.
and his dad
That's the most nervous I've ever been.
has shared some details. It sounds like more details are going to be revealed in the actual episode during the podcast. But I know his father has kind of shared some details already about the engagement. I would imagine that, yes, he did.
I thought I saw that. Maybe I'm wrong. I thought I saw that he had asked her.
Yeah, I mean,
Dad.
I would imagine.
Yeah. I would think so too. I mean, I know, okay, I tend to be more on the traditional side of things. And when I asked Lisa's dad, and we had a conversation, it was it's a great conversation, but I was sweating because it just
What do you think he's going to grill you?
Well, no, because
Second
I
marriage? Are
was,
you really sure? I mean,
right? Well, because it was a second marriage, and I have daughters, and I was thinking, okay, what would that conversation be like now that I one day will be on that other side of that?
So, Ohio State has taken some legal action against a Michigan-based restaurant. So, Ohio State University has filed a formal opposition to block the Brown Jug from trademarking the phrase Buckeye Tears that they would be using on beer and liquor products. Ohio State says that the proposed trademark could mislead customers into believing the university was affiliated with the alcohol products, and they say that tying alcohol directly to Buckeye athletics could tarnish the university's reputation and dilute its well-known trademarks.
So, do they sell alcohol in the stadium?
I'm not sure.
Which the answer is yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, do they also? Are they concerned that somebody's going to think we're partnering with a restaurant in Ann Arbor to sell Buckeye Tears? I think it's a hard sell.
Yeah, and that's kind of what there's an attorney in here, not representing either, but just saying this is going to be a tough one. But now the Brown Jug must respond by October 6th. So there's a deadline there.
They're not beating the allegations anytime soon.
So everyone will be reminded of Josh Allen's status as the league's reigning MVP thanks to a gold patch that will be on his jersey this year.
Oh.
So for the first time, the NFL will feature they'll recognize the achievements of some of football's top performers from the previous season. So winners of 5 Associated Press awards from 2024 will wear this gold shield patch inspired by the NFL Honors logo in place of the traditional NFL shield patch on the collar of their jerseys.
So what are the 5? MVP?
So we've got Josh Allen, Saquon Barkley,
offensive player,
Pat Surtain,
defensive player,
Jaden Daniels,
rookie of the year, offensive rookie of the year, probably.
Jared Verse.
And then defensive rookie of the year.
So they'll all have a gold patch on their jerseys this year. And they'll wear them for the entirety of the 2025 regular season and the playoffs. So you'll see those very, very soon. Some sad news. An Oakland County community is still shaken, and a family is heartbroken over the murder of a mother and her 12-year-old son. The victims were found dead in their Hazel Park home on Labor Day. The murder is still under investigation, but so far, very few details have been revealed other than the fact that there's no current threat to the community. Police do say that the 41-year-old woman and the 12-year-old son both sustained injuries from apparent trauma. Clearly, the murders have left neighbors devastated, shocked. They say that they're speechless. They can't believe this, but the little boy is just described as a really sweet boy, and the mother also a beautiful soul, down to earth. It was a very close-knit family. So nobody is sharing thoughts on who they believe is responsible, but everything is under investigation.
It's Heather with the news. End of the hour, we'll tell you how you can win Lions tickets today to their home opener against the Bears. Coming up next, it's Dan Campbell. It's 97.1.
There's nothing like Michigan. The pride, the grit, the game day energy. There's a beer that gets it. It's Founders Michigan Pilsner. Brewed right here in the heart of Michigan. It's crisp, light, and built for all those who go all in. Whether you're tailgating in Ann Arbor or kicking back after a long day, as proud sponsor of Michigan Athletics, we're raising a cold one to the maize and blue. Founders Michigan Pilsner, brewed for Michigan, built for Michigan. Find Michigan Pilsner at a store near you. Founders Brewing Company, Grand Rapids, Michigan. For 21 years old or older, please drink responsibly.
We're in a great mood this morning. Football Eve, the NFL back tomorrow night. College football's already here. And we're getting back into our routines.
No more Sundays without NFL football. Only have to worry about one without Lions football. Bye week.
And we love our check-ins with Dan Campbell. In fact, Tom was playing the moldy bread clip before the show earlier today.
Yeah. All the greatest hits.
Do you remember what that was like? We were on camera, obviously, for Twitch, and you and I were going like, is this really happening?
Yeah.
This is incredible. Yeah. Keep going.
It's not filet all the time. Sometimes you got to eat your moldy bread.
I believe it was your bleeping moldy bread.
Yes. But, I mean, this is the sweet spot of, with so much anticipation and excitement. It literally is Christmas Eve for football fans. It's unbelievable. Football's here.
Let's talk to Dan Campbell. Dan, we love this time of year. Love having you back on the show every week. Good morning.
Good morning. How y'all doing?
Good.
Great. Now that the regular season's finally here, and I was just talking about this as a former player and somebody that just loves football. Like, this is the week. It feels like Christmas Eve. Do you still have those feelings at the start of the season?
Oh, for sure. I mean, everybody loves first game of the year, man, for it to be here. And, now everything counts, and it's real time, real competition. Fall's here. It's just, it's the best time of year.
And I know you said it this week. Well, what a way to start the season. In Green Bay, Lambeau Field. It's the Packers. You've been asked a lot about Micah Parsons and game plan stuff. I'm just curious, what was your initial reaction when that trade went down?
I mean, honestly, the first thing I saw was Kenny Clark was gone. And then I realized what it was for, because my eyes immediately always go to Kenny Clark. And that caught my eye, and then I saw what it was. So I was like, well, that's good to get Kenny out, but then you're bringing somebody else in. So it's all, hey, man, you're trading a good player for a good player, and they're just in different spots. So we got good players here. We got to handle what they got over there, and we got to be prepared, and we will.
A lot's been made about how tough this schedule looks as we look to the horizon and we see, it's opening up at Green Bay, it's trips to Baltimore, Kansas City. Is there a sense of urgency that you guys feel to start the season fast, especially since the first two games are division opponents?
Well, I don't think there's any different emphasis. Of course you want to, because they are division opponents, and they really count a game and a half, it feels like. But I would say every year you want to have a fast start, man. You want to get that first win under your belt and get in the win column. And so I think that's big. You always want to start fast and finish well, at the end of the year too. So yeah, this will be big for us.
You said this is the best roster you've had since you've been here. Do you feel like this is your best chance to win the Super Bowl?
Well, I mean, every year we've had a chance every year. If you go back to 22. So I do like our roster. I think it's the deepest we've been. I think we've got guys in every position, and now it's just about honing our skills together, everybody being on the same page, making sure we play good, clean football, fundamental football. And if we can do that, like any team that does, when you got the horses that we do, you're going to have a chance.
You got the two young guards surrounded by great vets and a lot of experience with Decker, Glasgow, and Sewell. But for Mahogany and Ratledge, what do you expect the learning curve to be like for them?
Well, I think they're going to both learn pretty quickly. Now, Mahogany's got the benefit of having a couple of games under his belt. He's played in some big games. So, but he is still a young player. I thought he had a good camp. I thought Ratledge had a good camp, especially for a rookie. So, I think there is a learning curve, but I think both of those guys are ready. I think they're going to go in there and battle, and they're going to learn from every rep they get and just get better and better and better. And I mentioned that the other day. That's the exciting part. I mean, there's so much growth left, and yet, man, they're going to start for us. They're good players. So sky's the limit for both of those guys.
Talking to Lions head coach Dan Campbell. Earlier this hour, we played some of Jared Goff, and he said that he likes being on the side of it when people doubt, that he prefers that side of it. Is that your sentiment, too, going into the season?
I mean, I don't. You know, what's the doubt? I mean, you know, it'll go. Look, you lose a couple of games, and all of a sudden you're in the dump. So, you know, and then you win a couple, and then you're Super Bowl contenders 2 games in the season. I mean, you can't worry about all that stuff. You know, if we're doubted, so be it. You know, I've mentioned this before. We'll take any nugget we can get. I know I will. I love it, man. So, look, this is game 1, and we're on the road at Lambeau. It doesn't get any better than this. This is, in my opinion, the best division in football right now is the North, and man, it's about to be fun.
I think this could be one of the better secondaries in football. But a lot of it hinges on the development and the progression of Terrion Arnold. What have you seen in camp that makes you believe that he could take that next step and be a guy that you can count on at the corner position?
He's maturing, and he's getting older, and he's banking some reps, man. He's starting to learn. He's working his craft. He's figuring new things out. He's very comfortable in his own skin, his own abilities. I mean, we did one-on-ones yesterday, and watching him go against, you know, our receivers, man, it was impressive, you know. And the back and forth between our receivers and DBs right now, man, it's impressive. And man, ball in the air, no panic. Man, he stride for stride, making a play with the ball in the air. He's just comfortable. He's gotten so much better. And he's got a ton of growth left, too. But I love where he's at. I thought he had a hell of a camp.
Talking about some of those receivers, Tesla, not at practice yesterday. If you could update us on his status. And then secondarily, has a nickname stuck? I know Coleslaw was getting some love. Has anything been generated nickname-wise for Tesla?
Well, I haven't heard that one per se. You know, I've heard some that are a little more raunchy than that, but I can't state what those are. But I don't know if Coleslaw is necessarily stuck. There's a lot that are getting thrown against the wall right now. But he just had a little bug. I think he'll be all right here. You know, he's coming in the building today. He's been in virtuals. I know he feels a lot better, but we'll see.
John Morton, I talk about the 2 guards and the learning curve there. I know he's called plays before, and I know that you have worked with him before, but what's the process going to be like for him calling this offense that last year was one of the best offenses in the NFL?
Yeah, I mean, he's going to have reign to call what he feels is right in that moment, and then certainly I'll have input. You know, Hank Fraley will have input. There's times he calls for things in different areas. Scotty Montgomery will have input. David Shaw will have input. You know, so all the coaches really, you know, you got your area of expertise, but he'll kind of be the point man right now. So I thought preseason, just the communication and the way it went down just got better and better and better. And so it's all about, man, how do we all work with each other? But he's going to do a heck of a job for us.
Brad Holmes gets asked about the edge position a lot, and we asked you about the edge last year around the deadline. You add Zadarius Smith, and it looked like he gave you guys a boost. What's the best explanation for why you guys didn't bring him back for this season?
What's the best explanation?
The reasoning or the rationale or why you guys came to that conclusion.
Well, we're good right now. I mean, we're pretty good here. We got Davenport. We got good depth. I like what we got interior, too. We got a lot of flexibility, and we're sitting pretty good right now, so we're ready to go, man.
Fair enough.
We've heard a lot of great things about Aiden Hutchinson, and everybody, like they want to see it, right? They want to see him in his recovery. What's the best thing Aiden Hutchinson does for you?
Man, the best. That's a hard question because pinpointing. He does a lot of things really, really well. I think. All right, the best. I think play in and play out, he applies pressure. whether it's a play pass or it's drop back, he's going to find a way to apply pressure, whether he's getting doubled or he's getting nudged and tripled, and then the tackle takes him over. He's going to find a way to make the quarterback uneasy. That's always the best thing he does. But believe me, the run game, nobody sets a better edge than him as well. So the guy is a complete player. I mean, that's what I love about him. I mean, he can get to the quarterback. This guy plays every down, man, and he plays the run, he plays the pass. He doesn't take plays off, and I love that about him. That's why we love him.
Cannot wait to see him healthy for a full season. Can't wait to watch you guys kicking off this week in Green Bay. Dan Campbell, thanks for your time.
Thanks, Dan.
All right, thanks, guys. Have a good one.
You too. It's 97.1.
FanDuel's getting you ready for kickoff. I think everyone's ready. With an offer you won't want to miss. New customers can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you simply win. That's right. Pick a bet $5, and if it wins, you're going to unlock $300 in bonus bets to use anywhere in the app that you want. And you can build parlays, bet player props, ride the live lines, whatever your style. Like I said, whatever you want, FanDuel's got you covered. The NFL season is finally here. The only question is, are you ready to play? Visit FanDuel.com/971 Detroit to download the FanDuel app today and get started. That's FanDuel.com/971 Detroit. Must be 21 or over and present in Michigan. First online real money wager. Only $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as now. A double bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
tell you how to win Lions tickets today on the show. John, what'd you take from Dan Campbell?
I mean, there's a general excitement, and I do think that there is added emphasis on starting fast because it's not just the 2 games in a division. And he mentioned it, like they're worth a game and a half, and I understand the importance. But when you look at their schedule, like if you don't start fast in division, it only gets harder because it's a trip to Cincinnati, it's a trip to Baltimore, it's a trip to Kansas City.
Philly,
like, all of those
Washington.
things are, but Philly and Washington, okay, those are in week,
November,
9 and 10,
yeah.
and you're starting to get down the run a little bit, but you got to take what you can get when you can get it and set yourself up for I'm not saying they lose all those games, I'm also not saying they win them all, but if you go to Kansas City and you drop one, then you're starting, all the wins, all the losses, you add them up at the end, and it doesn't matter when they happen. But in regards to, just the mentality of the team, it does matter. Like you can't start 1-1 and then think. I mean, it's a possibility they could start 1-1. It's a possibility they could start 0-2, 2-0. Like those are the 3 possibilities.
That could be a tie in there too, John.
Right. This is bringing up Patricia era. But when you look at what weeks 4 through 8 have in store for you, you absolutely need to start fast.
Yeah, I mean, look, Goff's going to have more on his plate that's been discussed and talked about. I think you were right to push on the offense. Will it start slow? Last year it did start slow, and he kind of said that's to be expected, but they want to start as fast as they can this season, and a lot's going to be on Jared Goff because you do have some new dudes on this offense, both up front and calling plays.
Well, a lot's going to be on Jared Goff, as there always is on the quarterback, but I think more of it is on John Morton, because he is inheriting an offense. And you take out the issues with either guard. And I don't even know if those are going to be issues or not yet, but there's question marks. Take those out. This was one of the top 2 offenses in all of the NFL last year. And if he doesn't maintain that status quo of being a top 2 or 3, I'll give him, top 5 offense in the first couple of weeks, all fingers are going to be pointing at the offensive coordinator.
See, this would happen when you lost Ben Johnson.
Yeah.
Especially playing Ben Johnson week 2. Now, I do think whether they're the number 1 offense or not, they should be very good offensively. And if there's any step back, even a half step back, the defense is going to have to make up that ground. And the Terrion Arnold stuff, the maturity, the growth we've seen from him, a full year out of Aiden Hutchinson, the safety duo, there's reason to believe this defense is going to be better this season than they were a year ago.
And some of it is if. We always talk at this time of the year and whether it's at the start of the Tigers season, the Pistons, the Wings, we're talking about the Lions. If Terrion Arnold takes those steps forward, if Marcus Davenport can stay healthy, if Tyleik Williams can come in and be, now I don't expect him to be a Lee McNeil, but if he could fill that gap until Lee McNeil is back and get better throughout the course of the year.
People in the ticket text found the Za'Darius answer or question interesting and answer interesting, saying one said, stop asking it. They're not going to give you guys any different answers. But I do think it's worth asking to get the explanation from the head coach. And he says, we're good. And I said, fair enough. I mean, we're going to see if he's right, if Brad Holmes is right, if Marcus Davenport can stay healthy for a full season. And if not, guess what we're going to ask about? Za'Darius Smith. Or upgrading the edge spot. But if he's out on the streets, and he still is, I just thought it was worth getting an answer as to what the best explanation. Maybe his demands are unrealistic. Maybe the need in their eyes isn't there. However Dan Campbell saw fit to answer the question, that's his choice. But they have made their bed. They do not want to add Za'Darius Smith. They are comfortable with the 3 edges, I guess 4 with the undrafted player they added, 4 edges on the roster.
Yeah.
And the explanation, too, of Aiden's not going to leave the field, essentially. He's an every down guy. He plays like 95% of snaps. They just need someone to stay healthy opposite and be productive opposite.
Yeah, and I mean, it's kind of one of those things, too, where you wake up in the morning and you're like, oh, I wonder if there's any Za'Darius Smith news.
Is there?
No, there's not.
Oh, okay.
Or is there any Jadeveon Clowney news? And no, there's not.
We will have Lions tickets on Wednesdays to give away, including today. So here's how it's going to work. We're going to play Name That Lion. For the next hour, we are going to be dropping clues. You're going to need to listen to those clues to give you the best chance to name the lion. In the next hour, we'll play Forward Down the Field. That will be your cue to call in and name that lion. So in the 8 o'clock hour. 3 clues will be handed down. Listen, they're going to give you a real good chance, and you'll win a pair of tickets and tailgate passes. So this is a prize worth listening for. This is the home opener against the Chicago Bears. It's courtesy of the Bullseye Event Group. You can go to bullseyeeventgroup.com for tickets today.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun game that we're going to get a chance to play. And the fact that we're going to be able to give away Lions tickets every single week. I mean, it's the first one. It's Ben Johnson's return to Detroit. Like, who wouldn't want to be there for that?
It's going to be electric. And are they coming in 1-0, thumping their chest after saying, I thought Green Bay was the favorite? Or are they coming in 0-1 going, we need this game to settle down? Because you're right, these are 2 division games out of the gate.
Yeah. Who do the Bears have week 1?
Vikings on Monday night.
Oh, that's right.
So
man, we got a great week 1.
Short week for the Bears. 1 fewer day.
Yes.
That's the other thing people didn't realize when the schedule came out. It is absolutely daunting, and I'm not trying to take anything away from the gauntlet that the Lions play. But these little things are baked in. A day here, 2 days here to give you an edge. Mm-hmm. And the Lions got a coaching staff we believe in. Use that edge and maximize it. Can't wait. Can't wait. Yes. We got AJ Hinch to kick off the 8 o'clock hour. Talk about our Tigers. We got the Power Surge coming up at 8:35. John's best teams, the top teams in the NFL, before we've even played a game. It's 97.1.
Brought to you by University of Michigan Credit Union. Back-to-back days when the Tigers pitching struggles mightily against the Mets. Last night a 12-5 loss to New York at Comerica Park. The starters Sawyer Gibson-Long and Chris Paddock, who's now in the bullpen, combined to give up all 12 Mets runs. Juan Soto continuing his dominance against the Tigers last night. His 7th-inning home run made it 7-2 Mets, and in the first 2 games of the series, Soto has 2 home runs and 7 RBIs against the Tigers. Lions quarterback Jared Goff spoke with the media after practice yesterday in Allen Park and got a big smile on his face when asked about the Packers being the betting favorite in the NFC North. Goff says this is his favorite spot to be in. Simply put it, he says, doubt the Lions. Post Micah Parsons trade, the Lions trail the Packers in the odds to win the North. They're also 2.5-point underdogs in Sunday's season opener in Green Bay. Michigan falling 1 spot to number 15 in this week's AP Top 25. The Wolverines' opponent on Saturday, Oklahoma's number 18. The new number 1's Ohio State. And the bench is cleared and 3 players were ejected during last night's 7-4 Giants win over the Rockies at Coors Field. San Francisco first baseman Rafael Devers homered off Rockies starter Kyle Freeland. He took exception to Devers' celebration, and that caused the scrum. At the Corwell Health Sports Desk, I'm Luke Sloan. For more, go to 97.1 The Ticket or Odyssey.com.
AJ, always good to check in. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing fine. How are you guys doing?
Oh, we're doing all right.
Let's start with Chris Paddock. I know last night didn't go well. You made the move to the bullpen. Just could you explain maybe the thought process on why that's the way you guys want to go moving forward?
To move him to the pen?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think given where we're at on the schedule, given how, we need to use our pitching and just his recent struggles, it's trying to relieve some of the pressure of the first inning and starting games. We decided to make a change. I mean, obviously, our pitching staff is built on depth, and we have a couple arms that we want to get, in the mix. And we're hoping one time through we'll, spike a little velo. Stuff will get a little bit better. The swing and miss that comes and goes with him, we obviously need it to be better, and we're just going to use our pitching a little bit differently. So it's a way to use the advantage of having, capable arms, albeit without a few roles, and maybe we have to switch the roster up a little bit. But we're just trying to get series by series and win the most games we can.
I know you'd mentioned even last night, right? You're just simply trying to figure out how to win today. But for fans and for us, when we talk about this, and maybe I'm sure you're unaware, we look at the record and we see, okay, you're still tied for the most wins in the American League. Yet we look at the starting pitching outside of School Bowl, and everybody is all up in arms and concerned about who's going to be number 2 when we get to October. Who's going to be, where can we count on some of these wins? Yet you still have one of the best records in the American League, tied for the best record. How do fans rationalize those two things?
I don't know. I don't know. It's so hard sometimes, and I guess I would ask it, for all of us. Did everybody guarantee that we were going to be the first to 40, 50, 60, 70, and 80 wins in the American League? And it's just by sports. It's hard. It's hard to not get emotionally tied and ride the roller coaster. But on the field and in our uniform, we just can't do it, and we have to figure it out. I know, there's what it creates is opportunity for guys to step up and be part of the solution as opposed to sort of dragging down the drama of not knowing. I do think Jack Flaherty can be a terrific pitcher both in the regular season and a potential postseason. Charlie Morton has shown his flashes. Casey Mize made the All-Star team. We've shown that we can be creative with a variety of arms. I know it's way easier on everyone's emotions and maybe their heart to be tied to knowing everything right now, but we're just not going to be able to. And I think there's a lot of teams that aren't able to stamp that right now, and it's uncomfortable for fans. It's a reality when you go have a couple games like this. But I don't know what to tell them. It's hard not being emotional this time of year when you love a team so much.
Is it tough for you to not necessarily know who your number 2 would be in a playoff rotation today?
I think it's tough for me to watch these guys struggle, down the stretch and try to find solutions on what, the Charlie Morton spraying the fastball or Casey not being able to locate his pitches. Obviously Jack's coming off a really good start. So I think, I try not to get caught up in any emotion and just try to keep finding solutions. Fett and I talk all the time about how we're going to try to find solution and what are the keys to, and it's been hard. Charlie was battling himself through that issue, had one pitch to Soto with 2 strikes, and all of a sudden the grand slam completely changed his day. So, is it hard or not? I don't really care. It's the reality.
Fair
in
enough.
September, trying to get these guys playing better.
So if I asked you then, if you were setting a rotation today, it's not October. I'm trying to get creative with how I ask this.
Yeah.
Who would be the number 2 if you were setting a rotation today?
But I wouldn't be setting the rotation today. So
Okay.
that's entirely for you guys to talk about. It's not. It's irrelevant for me. I don't know who we're playing. I don't know what time we're playing. I don't know how the rest of the pitching staff's doing or how we're going to attack the opponent. So I wouldn't set the rotation today.
Could I throw one other wrinkle? The Melton question. I know you've been asked about him before. You love him as a weapon out of the bullpen. Is there any consideration to him being a starter come playoff time?
Maybe, yeah. I think we're going to try to get to the playoffs and win our division first, and then you start talking about how to deploy your players. Of course, we're going to think about what's there. What I struggle with is people not really recognizing that he pitched in 2 of 5 days and 3 of 8 days, which he would not be able to do in the rotation. And so we're trying to control a little bit of everything with him and deploy him when we can. We were 1 pitch away from getting him in a really important game the other day, and the grand slam hurt us, obviously, and the ground ball triple hurt us. But it's a strategy to try to get the most out of him and the most out of our pitching staff. And what I would tell you about starters in general is if at the first point of stress in the 3rd or 4th inning we're going to pull you, is it better to have that shot or is it better to have him deployed over multiple games in a series? It's for you to answer.
I don't know if there's any update you could share right now in regards to Reese Olson. I know that initially it was, hey, we're hoping to get him back in October. How's he doing, and do you think it's realistic that you can get him back in October?
So he's not playing catch yet. So we are first week of September. Even when you start playing catch, it's probably a pretty lengthy buildup. So I don't think it's probable right now early in any possibility like that. I don't know what it takes for the rest of the month, but to think that he's going to be ready by the end of the season, I think that's asking too much, given he's not playing catch yet.
Casey Mize will throw today. We're talking to A.J. Hinch. What's the key to getting him back to that first half form where he made the All-Star game?
He's got to be able to locate his fastball. I think everything plays off of that. The breaking ball does, the split, which has been nasty at times this season, and even part of last outing, he finally got the ball below the waist on purpose. Like, he wants to pitch up because it plays off. His other stuff plays off that. You also want to be able to pitch down when you want to. But if they can eliminate fastball to middle or miss, meaning middle of the plate, middle of the body to miss, like he's not on the edges. He's not locating pitches, and he and all pitchers are much different to face. So fastball command, I think, is really key. And Casey, made the All-Star team and had a terrific first half because of those locations and because of his ability to get to two strikes quickly. That's eluded him, for a bit now, and he's very capable of doing it. The stuff that came out of his hand the other day in Sacramento, with some velo, but obviously we need him back to form to help us win.
The lineup, and I do want to bring up one positive, and that's Dylan Dingler. He has quickly become.
Thank you. Thank you for the positive.
Yeah. He's quickly become a guy that I can't wait to see him at the plate. He's batting above 280. Yeah. What does he have to do to move up in the lineup, or how do you construct things with him batting as well as he's been and being as consistent as he's been?
Where would you hit him?
Oh, he's putting you on the spot, John.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, if I'm making the lineup, I don't know. I'd probably put him.
You put him in the top six?
I'd put him in the top six, maybe 5.
Oh, boy.
So you're going to bet Torkelson and him back-to-back right-handed with all the right-handed relievers that come.
Come on, John.
Come on, John. It's not just about the construction is just not about how a guy's swinging, but do you not want Wenzel up against a right-handed pitcher?
Yeah, John.
Or McKinstry?
Well, these are not answers.
This is more fun when I have AJ on my side. This is great.
I am qualified to answer, or questions I'm qualified to answer. And I do appreciate you putting it back.
I'm just trying to ask you, like, rather than saying move them up, there's a downside to getting your righties all. If I get Glaber and Torque and Dingler 3 out of 4, like, do you think their right-handed pitchers are looking forward to that? Or do you think that they have a decision to make on, do I run a lefty through there? Do I run a righty through there? If I can separate the 3 righties and I roll the lineup and we have Bolt and Torres at the top of the order and Dingler's getting on base, or all those RBIs that he's getting at the bottom of the order, like, you need them all. You don't just need them faster to have a good offense.
Talking to Tiger manager A.J. Hinch, and, it's what, John? You're laughing?
Oh, no, I thought it was great. He answered the question.
It's a good exchange. We asked you after the deadline about your bullpen, and I believe as of today, bullpen ERA since that day is top 5. Would you feel like you're starting to get some roles solidified beyond just Vest and Finnegan? Where are you at with your bullpen confidence?
Yeah. No, I'm glad you brought that up, and that has been, a point of emphasis. And, getting a couple guys, Finnegan and Montero, in this organization and in the groove has been really big. I think Tommy Canley is a really big part of this. I mean, he settled into, 4 or 5 consecutive outings. I had to use him for a sort of a one-out outlast. I didn't really want to use him, but Paddock was in such trouble. But I like that he's, sort of calmed down and got his outs, and he can factor in a little bit more. And then, as we get towards, using our pitching creatively, at least once in the rotation, if not multiple times, like, those guys pitching well is going to be really, really important. So, obviously Holden, give up the homer to Bobby Witt Jr., but has been better. Tommy Canley being better. Montero's been able to be used in a couple of different roles. Everybody loves Vest and Finnegan, as I do. We're getting a little bit deeper and a little bit better and a little bit more confident.
AJ, we'll send along the lineup card for later today for your approval.
You got it.
Yeah, let me work on it just a little bit more.
That's perfect. AJ, as always. Go ahead.
You boys. We'll see you later.
See you. As always, appreciate your time. That's Tiger manager A.J. Hinch. It's 97.1. All right, guys, before we move on, I want to give you your first clue for Name That Lion. I played running back for the Detroit Lions. Doesn't give it away. You're going to need more clues. It's 97.1. Tell you about KG Law. If you're injured in a car accident, you need to call KG Law. Call Lawrence KG. KG Law is one of the few law firms in the country which specializes in car accidents only. Lawrence KG has won millions of dollars for his clients because he fights hard, he wins, and he wins big. So if you or a friend or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, you need to call KG Law right now. That's 877-KG-CARES. Visit kgcares.com. That's KAJY, kgcares.com. Yeah, part of another offensive outburst for the Mets. They've taken the first 2 games of the series. Got a day game later today at Comerica Park. Casey Mize on the bump. Looking over at the Twitch comments, they really thought I was going to throw in, "Are you doing a good job today?" And no, in fact, I think he is doing a good job. He doesn't have a number 2 starter. I think that was well established. Now, to his point, they don't have to have their number 2 for the playoffs today on September 3rd. But I don't think it's for him making the wrong decision. I don't know that there's a right decision right now for their number 2 starter. You know what I'm saying? Like Casey Mize in the second half has been really rough. Morton, since they acquired him, that ERA is too high. Jack Flaherty, I don't know what I'm getting start to start. His ERA is almost 5.
Right, but also to his point, and we learned this last year, it's all about the matchups. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, I don't know, they're not going to go with pitching chaos like they did last year, but his answer was, well, I don't know who we're playing or where we're playing or, what are the matchups. Like, all of those things are part of what makes him as good as he is.
I could have done what he did to you, put him on the spot. Go, okay, Seattle, it's game 2. Here's the temperature. Here's the dew point.
Yeah.
I did like that he was like, well, where are you going to put Dylan Dingler?
Right, and I tried to start with something positive. Hey, Dingler.
He's good.
He's been consistent.
Good ball player.
And then he turned it around, and I mean, I do think he's hitting well enough to be moved up in the lineup, but I don't – that's why I asked him the question, like, why is he – and he could have given me the easy answer of, well, it's righty-lefty, whatever. But I did like the fact that he kind of turned it around on us, on me.
And that's fair. I mean, we
sure.
Yeah, I like the banter. Dylan Dingler's crushing lefties. Like, there is a case he could hit higher against lefties, and you'd have to bump down someone like Torque, but it would be because his OPS is over 1,000. But, AJ put you on the spot, and it's all fine and good. They've got to get this right, though, by the playoffs. Because, while he said, I get a positive question, they've lost 7 of 9, and they don't know who their number 2 starting pitcher is. There's not a lot to be positive about if this team's going to make a run in the postseason.
So one of the things out of your questioning, though, is he never named a number 2. Like
he said it could be unnerving for fans, and I said, well, is it tough on you? And he said, it doesn't matter if it's tough on me.
Well, if they had a clear 2, though, he'd name him.
Yeah, you'd say it's Jack Flaherty.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
It's got to be frustrating as heck because it seems like it's somebody different every week. I mean, look, this is the way I would do it if they were opening as the home team in a 5-game series. They got the bye. I would go, obviously, Scooble.
Yeah.
I would go probably, since they're at home, Mize second start. I don't want Mize pitching on the road. That's kind of how I would do it.
It depends. Is that road venue, it depends. If it's a bandbox, yeah, I get what you're saying. If it's a cavernous.
Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, then you don't want to pitch in there.
Card and they won.
You don't want to pitch in there.
So, and then you throw in Morton in game 3, kind of the
vet on the road
that's been in that environment.
So I did see this. So let's play this out. Because it was, if the season were to end today, how would they match? How would where would they be seated? And obviously the Tigers get a bye, and they would play the winner of a Red Sox, Yankees, or series. So your options are either Yankee Stadium, or you're in Boston against the Green Monster. So who do you go with in Game 3?
You want Casey Mize going out there like that?
No.
I like your point. Yeah.
But then I got to pitch him in Game 2. Look, the answer is he's got to find himself from the first half. He was in the All-Star game. But if he doesn't, like as much as we chalk up Scooble as a win, you're chalking up Mize as a loss. And the problem is right now you're probably chalking up Morton as a loss and Flaherty as a loss. And I don't even get back to Scooble in a Game 5.
I think you could get a win out of those 2. I think you
can, but you probably chalk it up as a loss.
They have pitched good. I mean, he referenced
so then you're chalking up Scooble as a win.
Again, doing the best you can to forecast. Yeah, I'd probably give you a Scooble, but I wouldn't give you the other ones. And that's why I don't think they're making a deep run right now. Now, maybe they can surprise us by finding something in the next, 22 ball games and have a couple guys that they can lean on to get through. But even then, to get through the 5-game series, that's one thing. To get through a 7-game series is a completely different thing.
Yeah, but then you get to use Mize more. I mean, not Mize, you use Scooble more.
Yes.
I sit here staying today, and this can change. We got 3.5 weeks of baseball. I don't think this team can win a 7-game series against one of those offenses in the AL. I think that.
Well, I think they can. It's just not probable.
I think it's significantly improbable. Like I would not pick them to win the series.
Yeah, but it goes back to what AJ had. That's sport, right? That's why you play the games.
Yeah, you don't know. Maybe the other team's bats go completely ice cold.
Sure. Yeah. Or some guys end up showing up in the biggest moments.
Aaron Judge has not been a great postseason player. So, it's. Look, baseball's the biggest crapshoot, pretty much that, and hockey. Back to your Dingler thing, though.
Yeah.
Isn't it every single thing they have to think about to build a lineup? And we sit here sometimes, and it's like, yeah, it'd be great to get them higher and stuff. But there's also a benefit of having a couple good hitters
In the bottom of the
down
lineup,
there,
yeah.
so that you can go through the lineup.
And you stretch out a lineup.
I agree. Yeah. Apparently, he's appropriately placed.
Just ask him.
Put you in your place.
I did get a kick out of it. Okay, just a reminder to the ticket texters. If you're trying to name that lion, you have to wait for forward down the field to play later in the hour, and you probably need to wait for a few more clues because you only have one right now.
Yeah.
We'll be giving those throughout the hour. Let's get to Heather with the news.
So the Philadelphia Eagles' infamous tush push is here to stay, and it now has a new fitting sponsor.
Oh, this is awesome.
So Dude Wipes has been named the official sponsor of the tush push, and the partnership will kick off ahead of the Eagles' home opener on Thursday against the Cowboys. So the partnership will include an ongoing series of social content throughout the season, product sampling at team-hosted events, and post-game radio highlighting the team's successful
product
tush pushes.
sampling. So they're just
Yes.
going to be in all the outhouses?
I'm not sure exactly
I mean,
how
that's,
the
if you're
products
going to
will be
sample
sampled.
it.
I mean, maybe they'll have. Remember, they had one time the pumpkin spice Dude Wipes. Like maybe
Right.
they'll just be there for
Just to feel?
smelling and
You rub it on your arm and be like,
you could
oh, okay.
wash your
well,
hands
this
with
is
them.
what it would feel like?
You could get a sense for what they're like. Anyway, the CMO and co-founder of Dude Wipe says that the partnership seems very appropriate with both the play and the brand sharing one thing in common. The
booty.
focus on the backside.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it does seem very fitting. So there you have it. As the NFL season officially kicks off this week, the league has finalized its list of the top 100 players of 2025, and several Lions players made the list. So the list was voted on by the players themselves, and 3 Lions players are in the top 20, which is pretty cool. They are Penei Sewell at number 13, Jared Goff, number 15, and Amon-Ra St. Brown at number 20.
Where was Jahmyr Gibbs?
Jahmyr Gibbs is number 27, so he's on the list.
Was
He's
Aiden-
not in the top 20. Aiden Hutchinson
Disrespect.
on the list
Here we
as
go,
well,
underdog.
ranked 55. Kirby Joseph, 71, and Sam Laporta, 94. So there you have that. Hey, there is a tip thief on the loose in Westland, and police are on the hunt for the suspect who stole hundreds of dollars from tip jars at this local Mexican market and restaurant in 2 separate occasions. So the thefts occurred at the La Tiendita, which is a family-owned business. Also, it's like a market and restaurant. And surveillance video captured this group of young guys visiting the store last week. At one point, one of the guys stole money from the tip jar. This was at the market. Then several days later, the suspect returned to the restaurant, which is next door, and stole the entire tip jar. The owner is shocked, says nothing like this has ever happened before, and that money would have gone directly to the employees. So the business is obviously trying to figure out who is behind this. They've taken to social media, hoping somebody can identify the person responsible, and the Westland Police Department is also investigating both incidents. We were talking about pumpkin spice Dude Wipes, but the pumpkin spice latte almost didn't become a thing.
Oh, the PSL.
The PSL, which is now obviously such a phenomenon for Starbucks. So the iconic pumpkin spice latte from Starbucks almost didn't make the cut. So in 2003, the coffee giant set out to create a fall-inspired drink that featured flavors that were comfortable and warm. And they created hundreds of ideas. Eventually, they came up with 10 concepts that they were going to try to test among customers, right? Let's see what people like. The drinks that featured chocolate and caramel really scored high in the test markets. The pumpkin flavored drink was one of the lowest in customer interests. But despite that, they said, you know what? No, we still want to keep trying this pumpkin drink. So they created 4 options to really test out, narrowed it down to 4. One was a chocolate-based drink, one was caramel, one was cinnamon, and one was the pumpkin spice. But once they realized they really wanted to do pumpkin spice, they found the right recipe, they didn't know what to call it. And they were originally going to name it the Fall Harvest Latte. That was the original name. But then they thought, well, no, we want our customers to know what it's going to taste like, specifically the spices, which are so important to the drink, the cinnamon, ginger, the cloves. So anyway, lo and behold, the pumpkin spice latte was created.
Have you ever had one?
Never.
I don't think I have either.
I don't think I have.
But to their point, like, I understand why the other ones would score higher because all year long you can get a chocolate drink. You can get all of those other drinks or those flavors. But the fall drink, the limited edition, is the pumpkin.
And at the time, the pumpkin spice wasn't like all the rage like
Right.
it is these days. So it almost didn't come to fruition. But thankfully, for everyone out there that likes them, it did.
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, McDonald's is bringing back extra value meals for a limited time. So beginning on Monday, September 8th, McDonald's will offer a $5 sausage McMuffin with egg, along with hash browns and a small coffee. So that's great value. Plus an $8 Big Mac meal. You also get medium fries, a medium drink as well. Both will be available nationwide. So go and save some money on these extra value meals.
Sure.
Heather with the news. We got the power surge coming up next, and I have your second clue for Name That Lion. Remember, you can't call until you hear forward down the field play. But clue number 2, I played on the Lions in the 2010s. It's 97-1. All right, I'm going to give you guys your last clue. Clue number 3 for Name That Lion. I was drafted in the first round as part of a trade-up. Be listening for the sounder at the end of the hour to call in for your chance to win Lions tickets. It's 97.1. Our conversation with the Lions head coach Dan Campbell's coming up at 9:02 this morning. He'll be on Tuesdays all season long, but with Labor Day, we get the Lions head coach today. And Greg, it's time. There is your sounder, your chance to name that Lion and win tickets to their home opener against the Chicago Bears. Hope you were listening this hour to each of the clues. Name that Lion. 248-539-9797. We have the tickets to give away every Wednesday.
I thought we were going to get more of the sounder there.
You wanted like the whole fight song?
Well, not the whole fight song, but
we're going to have like a big bellowing sounder next week.
Yeah, I'm going to be able to sing along a little bit. I didn't even get the rhythm going.
Well, we could have you. You want to sing forward down the field for people?
No,
the
charging moment's
team
passed.
That will not you.
No, I knew you would.
And silver.
It's like sitting across
Stand
from Stoney.
and cheer the brave.
I could get Sony to do.
You
just
could do the
about anything.
rah-rahs, Heather. You want to get in on
Rah,
this?
rah, rah.
There you go. Go hard, win the game. Lines
That's
have
probably
lit
as
up.
close as we're ever going to get to Heather singing.
What didn't you say you would do like background instrumental for us?
Yeah.
Oh, you going to play the tambourine?
Yes. Cowbell, maybe?
Yeah. The
triangle?
More cowbell.
All right, before we get to Dan Campbell, your power surge was interesting.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. You disagree with everything?
All of it's trash. No, John, I think the top three are my top three, just in a different order.
Okay.
I would have the Bills 1. I think it's going to be a big year for them if they can take advantage of home field. They have it week 1, and if they take care of their schedule, they'll have it in the AFC title game, and that may be the key for them finally breaking through. I'd have Baltimore 2, and I'd have Philly 3, so I'm not going to really sit here and beat you up. You have the Lions in the top 5, and I think they have some things they have to prove still, but they're among the favorites.
I like Baltimore addressing some of the issues that they had on defense. And I mean, you think about Baltimore, one of the top things that comes to your mind is the fact that they're always one of the top teams on defense. Last year was the outlier. They draft Malachi Starks. They go get Jair Alexander. I think that they're doing things to improve that defense. But here's where I think in the offseason they're doing, their self-film study, self-analysis. Early on in that season, last year, remember how we were talking about Lamar and Derrick Henry, how they were using him as a 1-2 punch, and the first couple of times they right down the field. I'm like, oh, this is unstoppable. I think this year they get back to more of that. They got away from it a little bit. Derrick Henry still had a good year, and obviously Lamar had an MVP caliber year. But if they keep defenses on their heels and they're unable, or Baltimore is able to do that throughout the course of every game, I honestly don't know how you stop it. I don't know what defense is built to stop that 1-2 punch.
I wonder if people are okay with where you put Green Bay. 7th. I had no issue with it. And look, if they beat the Lions this week,
they'll jump up and the Lions will fall out.
Yeah, I mean, that's just how it works. You play the games, you keep score, and you rank them accordingly. I think you were right to put Tampa in. I think people are sleeping on them. I expect them to win that division again, and they have a chance to fight for the 1 or the 2 seed in the NFC this season.
Certainly. And it's I think Tampa, and there's a lot of people that still underestimate Baker Mayfield. Is he a top 5 quarterback? No. But he's a guy that just wins, finds a way to win. He's the ultimate competitor.
Yeah, I like that you put Tampa 6, and that's where I'd put them. I think they're clearly the 6th best. Like I know we had somebody text in Green Bay. People are sleeping on Tampa. I love that they got Ibuka to kind of bring along Godwin and not rely on him so much.
Yeah. Oh, Mike Evans. And Mike Evans is going to get his, but it's a matter of staying healthy.
Yeah, and Bucky Irving, I really like as a running back. I think he may come on kind of like Kyron Williams has helped the Rams become a really solid team. Their schedule, just to close out the last 6 weeks for Tampa, they're hosting Arizona, hosting the Saints, hosting the Falcons, at Carolina, at Miami, and then hosting the Panthers.
Yeah, maybe a 5-1 finish.
Yeah, and so if they go 6-5 or 7-4 the first 11, that's how they get to the 1 seed.
It'll be interesting, and so they not going on strength of division, obviously, but they're in a division that's very weak. Tampa is, and so it's going to be curious to me to be able to who is it that is going to contend in the NFC outside of Philly. And I think the team that I think is way behind is the fact that Arizona, to me, is I'm curious as to what Arizona is going to be. They address the defense, Sweat. Obviously, they tried to address the secondary.
Will Johnson, second-round pick. Yeah. John, we do have a winner.
Oh,
didn't take long. Joey in South Lyon won the tickets. Congrats to Joey. He correctly identified Javid Best.
All right. Joey.
Name that Lion. The first is Javid Best, and people may remember he had a big game against the Bears on a Monday night back in the day. You win tickets to see the Chicago Bears at Ford Field. It is a pair of tickets for that game, plus a 4-pack of passes to the Lions VIP tailgate at Eastern Market from the Bullseye Group.
Ooh.
That is what you need. The VIP tailgate is back. The Bullseye Event Group. All you can eat. Open bar 3 hours before kickoff. Go to bullseyeeventgroup.com for tickets today. The 3 clues for people who didn't hear them, John. The first clue was I played running back for the Lions.
Okay.
The second clue, I played for the Lions in the 2010s.
Okay, narrows it down.
And then your third clue was I was drafted in the first round with a trade up.
Javid Best.
Javid Best.
And going through, you asked me to fact check this earlier before the show, so I went through and I looked at all the 2010 drafts just to make sure. It's so depressing. And then I found out that after Taylor Decker, who's the second longest tenured Lion, Pat O'Connor.
Pat O'Connor's the second longest tenured Lion?
2017. Now, has he been with the team the entire time?
I don't know.
I don't know that for sure. I'm just saying he was the second latest. They highlight who's still in the league.
Yeah.
Then I came to find out that, I can't even remember the name of the player now that's still in the league. Oh, Deshaun Hand is still in the league,
Really?
allegedly.
Where's he playing?
I don't know.
He made
Sean Robinson.
Ashawn Robinson. He's got a 53-man roster somewhere.
That's what Pro Football Reference says.
Incredible.
Okay.
Yeah, that's going to be the fun thing with Name That Lion is going back through and like stumbling upon some gems.
Yeah, some gems, but also, I mean, when you start going through Lions history, like it's not always a great exercise.
No, some guy said I
It's
was
very
looking back at
frustrating.
old running backs, realizing just how lousy they were. Remember that stretch where they didn't have a 100-yard rusher?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that was always the thing. Well, we can't support Matthew Stafford. We would never have a 100-yard rusher.
No run game.
Yeah.
How old are we gonna go back on this? Is it unlimited?
I mean, if they played for the Detroit Lions, they're eligible.
Yeah.
Oh wow. So like we could go like
Bobby
50s?
Lane.
I won a championship.
I cursed the team.
Oh.
I
One
took
clue,
the
that's
win.
all I need. I took the win. Yeah, I suppose we could do coaches as well. No? Greg says no, do players.
I drove around
just
Lake
players,
Orchard.
Yeah.
You know who that is?
Say that again?
I drove around Lake Orchard.
No, who is this?
Do you know?
Is that what's his name? The M guy.
No.
No.
Bobby Ross.
Bobby
That's
Ross.
when he started going nuts.
Oh, yeah. Well, he went nuts in that 99 draft.
Yeah.
Went with Aaron Gibson.
Oh, jeez. It all comes back to you.
John, that's right. You'd be eligible for this one
I
of these
would
weeks.
be eligible. I'm a former Lion.
Every Wednesday, for all the home games, well, every week, we're going to have tickets for these home games. Be listening on Wednesdays. Name That Lion. You'll get 3 clues. Rewarding you for listening all hour long. This show, it was the 8 o'clock hour. Could be a different hour next Wednesday. Let's get to Dan Campbell. That's next, 97.1.
Brought to you by Northville Lumber. The Tigers give the ball to Casey Mize at Comerica Park this afternoon, looking to avoid a sweep at the hands of the Mets. Last night, the New York Bats posted double-digit runs for the second straight game. It was a 12-5 loss for the Tigers. The starters Sawyer Gibson-Long and Chris Paddock combined to give up all 12 Mets runs. The Tigers' bullpen, though, has been one of the best in baseball the second half. This morning, right here on 97.1, manager A.J. Hinch says the deadline acquisitions are one reason why. Clay Holmes starts today for the Mets. First pitch, 1:10, right here on 97.1 The Ticket. The Lions are back on the practice field today in preparation of Sunday's season opener against the Packers. Also right here on 97.1 The Ticket this morning, head coach Dan Campbell doubled down on his opinion that this is the best Lions roster he's had so far. Campbell saying that wide receiver Isaac Tesla is dealing with an illness and should be good to go on Sunday against the Packers. Oklahoma head coach Brent Venables, the former defensive coordinator at Clemson, is comparing Michigan quarterback Bryce Underwood to former Tigers quarterback Trevor Lawrence, calling both signal callers quick, decisive, and poised. The Wolverines are 5.5-point underdogs against the Sooners on Saturday, and Michigan State will host five-star 2028 receiver Lorenzo McCullen Jr. during the game against Boston College Saturday. He's ranked as the number 12 overall player in the class by 24/7. The Spartans' 2026 class, fueled by a big summer, ranks 32nd in the nation. At the Corwell Health Sports Desk, I'm Luke Sloan. For more, go to 97.1 The Ticket or Odyssey.com.
In sports, when you're sidelined by an injury, it's personal. The same goes for life. That's where personal injury attorney David Femininio steps in. And trust me, after an accident, you need an attorney who's going to make it personal. That someone is David Femininio. His slogan is Get David, Get Paid. Well, to him, it's not just a slogan. It's a promise to take care of you. So if you or somebody you know has been injured, tell him to call David Femininio at 855-65-CRASH, or you can always go to his website, getdavidgetpaid.com. That number again, 855-65-CRASH, or on the web at getdavidgetpaid.com.
Get back in the swing of things. Always good to check in with Dan Campbell. We got AJ Hinch today as well. 9:35 here from the Tiger Manager. Busy Wednesday. They got a day game today.
Yeah.
Got the Powerball today.
Oh, the Powerball. I know. I
can't
stopped before.
wait.
They wouldn't sell me a ticket this morning. They don't sell them before 5 a.m.
I've never heard of that, but I've never tried.
Yeah. I don't think there's a lot of people that are trying to buy their
No.
tickets before 5. So I'll have to stop later today, but I certainly will be stopping.
But we're all buying tickets.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
1.3 billion.
I might even get in on the office pool, which
Oh,
I
I'm-
never do. I never do that.
I do it every time.
Do you? Are
Yeah.
you in this?
Yeah, I'm in it.
Okay.
In it to win it.
I mean, Heather won
you-
like $12 last week, right?
Yeah.
Twice. We've won $12 both
Okay.
several days.
And-
That's a pumpkin
Both
spice
drawing.
latte.
They're $12?
Give or take.
Gosh.
Just a
I'm so
joke.
glad I don't drink them.
And I don't get in it because I know there's some people like, well, if the offense wins and you're the only one that doesn't, would you feel bad? Okay, yeah, everybody would, right?
It'd be weird if your whole office quit and you came in the next day.
Yeah. But I do it because when you pool that much together, you buy more tickets. It's just more opportunity. Yeah.
Yeah.
And your odds aren't really going up, but yeah, you have more opportunity. So I go for opportunity.
Come on, John. You've already won the genetic lottery.
Well, some would argue that. That's why I'm on radio and not TV.
Got you a decorated pro career there, bud.
Oh, that.
Now, would you take the lump sum or the payouts?
I would do the lump sum. And I was listening to, everybody's talking about it because it's so huge. But the lottery, that is.
Thank you for clarifying, John. You've trained us all. We were all
Yes.
thinking it.
I was not.
You were not?
No, I wasn't.
We've already answered that. Yeah. I don't even remember what I was going to say. Oh, would I take the lump sum? Yes, I would, because I was listening to a podcast and they
talking
were
about how
talking
huge it
about
was.
the if you take the lump sum, if you just simply invest it, by the end of it, you come out on top anyway. And who doesn't want to be on top?
So they tell you should take the lump sum because
Yes.
you can reinvest it, but people also take the lump sum and end up with zero, which feels impossible, but people manage to do
Sure.
it all the
Yeah.
time.
I mean, they
If
got
you-
reality shows on that.
If you were to take the payments,
Yeah.
you're not going to run out of money. And sure, you can't reinvest it. You can't make your second $1 billion. You'll simply have to live on several $100 million, which I know would be really tough to imagine, but
Well, that's why I don't play unless it gets above 300 million.
it's not worth it unless
No,
it's 300 million.
Yeah. So I wait. I'm patient.
This is probably
I'm a
gonna-
patient investor. This is your retirement plan.
You laugh. There are people who play this all the time. I don't, but when it gets up to a number like this, you feel like you at least have to throw a couple bucks in, a couple tickets.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't, you got no chance.
Correct.
Jim, would you get all gas cars if you won?
You'd buy a new battery.
They got some nice EVs.
John, I know he'd have just the most awesome fishing boat ever.
Oh yeah, and I would have a sweet ass fleet of trucks. I mean, it would be awesome.
What do you need a fleet of trucks for? One for every day?
Why not?
I guess.
I mean,
what-
why not? It's just, yeah. I mean, I would have one for different situations, right? And so if I'm going fishing by myself, I'd take truck A. If I'm going fishing with the kids, or if we're going camping and I've got a fifth wheel and the boat behind it, I'm going to need something that has more seats. You even custom make one. I've seen them before, like like a 4500 or a 450, where you can add a third door. And so you've got, basically 2 rows for the passengers plus the front captain's chairs. Oh, yeah. Not that I've thought about it.
Now, how would you deal with everybody in
Monster
your life
tires.
that starts hitting you up? Because it's going to happen. Even if you try to lay low, all of a sudden you disappear.
People you haven't spoken to in ages will come out of the woodwork and I need a little bit of
Yeah.
money for this. and
First
that.
thing you do is you change your phone number.
That would be one move. Sure. And I think there's 2 things that would be very gratifying. Obviously, winning the lottery and all that money. That's number 1. Would always be number 1. Number 2 would be the amount of people in your life that, because you have a whole bunch of FU money now, you could just give them the middle finger and be like, This is what
None
I
for
really
you.
think. This is what I really think about you.
True colors.
So my one thing selfishly that I would do is I would be John Madden for one NFL season. I'd get the RV. I would have a driver, and I would go to a different game once every week, from start of week 1 all the way through the Super Bowl.
Why RV? Why not just fly in?
Because I want to see the country.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And I want to.
Is the family coming with you?
Yeah, they can
Yeah.
some.
You hiring a driver?
Some who
They have
makes the
school.
cut.
Yeah, well, they got school. Yeah.
Right.
I see.
Yes, of
school.
course.
Yeah.
School.
Yeah.
I get that.
I would do it I would do it for all 4 of the major sports. And one year I would take it and I would go to all the NFL stadiums and hit all the greatest games every single weekend.
Yep.
And then I would want to be able to hit every single major league ballpark through the course of a season. And I'd do the same thing for hockey. I'd do the basketball. I don't know. I'm just not that into basketball.
What's that guy called? Marlins Man for baseball?
Yeah.
What would you wear? You'd be Tiger Man? Be
Yeah.
great, John.
Sure.
Every game of the World Series.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Nothing's off limits if you win that kind of money.
No.
Man. You can go to all those games, concerts, shows, whatever you want.
And there
Best
may be
seats.
some that I'm not going to say I would take the camper or the RV to all of them. There's some I'd probably fly to, but I'm like you. I love driving, and I love to be able to drive and be able to see everything that this country has to offer. I've never gone coast to coast, and I would love to do that.
Yeah, me too. And I would pick the best games. Like I wouldn't, if I'm going to Seattle one week and then Tampa the next, and then it's back to, San Francisco, so be it. What do I got to do?
Yeah, nothing. Spend money. That's your job at that point.
It could all be possible tonight.
I'm not here tomorrow, boys. You know why?
Would you immediately vanish, or would you you
I
take a
would.
couple days to lay low, get your affairs in order, get your financial? No, you just be
I'll
gone.
be gone.
Oh,
would you at
no.
least text us? I'm not coming in today.
I don't know.
Would you make up a cold? Like if she's sick, you should at least I got a cough, or the kids are sick.
No, I wouldn't do that.
Well, just so otherwise we're going to be planning on you being here.
Well,
Apparently,
I guess
you're
start
part of that
planning now.
FU club for her.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I think there's a drop for that. Let's get to Heather with the news.
Everyone has that list. I guarantee you, everyone's going right now through the checklist going, yep, that's the one. That person.
yeah. You guys, a suspect has been arrested in connection to the murder of that mother and son in Hazel Park. The mother and son were found dead in their home on Labor Day. Police have really revealed very, very little information, but they have confirmed that a suspect has been taken into custody. 2 men who thought they were meeting up with underage girls in Port Huron were busted in a child predator scheme. So there's this YouTuber that's known as Skeeter Gene who runs this predator catching series on his channel where he exposes people who are trying to basically meet up with children for sex. This guy's been doing this for years. I think the first video where he caught a predator was posted in 2020. So over the 5 years, he has caught over or at least 200 predators. And he's not working with the police. He's not an undercover police officer. He's just an individual who decided that this is something that they'd be able to do. Well, anyway, this time, this Skeeter Gene had been communicating with 2 men who they thought they were talking to a 14-year-old girl.
Disgusting.
Oh. Anyway, they went to go meet with him, and instead of meeting this child, they were confronted by a man and a camera crew. So they were busted there. They've both been arrested. They're facing charges of accosting a child for immoral purposes, using a computer to commit a crime, and tampering with evidence. Busted.
By Skeeter
G. But he says, every time he goes to meet somebody, you never know what you're going to run into, right? Like he's not like...
Right, yeah, it's not the best of society that you're meeting.
You just don't know who you're going to meet. So the Eagles, they have the tush push, right? And it's here to stay. Well, now it has a sponsor and a very fitting sponsor. Dude Wipes has been named the official sponsor of the tush push. Makes sense, right? So the partnership will kick off ahead of the Eagles home opener on Thursday against the Cowboys. So you're going to be seeing some more Dude Wipe, I guess, ads or things on social media, some content like that. They're going to have product sampling at team-hosted events and post-game radio highlighting the team's successful tush pushes. And they basically say that this is a very appropriate partnership because they both share one thing in common, which is the focus on the backside.
Yeah. I guess if you're going to tush push, you'd want it to be a clean one.
Yes, you would, John.
Yep. So people fall for scams all the time. I talk about them a lot on the radio. Well, this scam is a little hard to believe, but somebody did fall for it. There was a woman in Japan. She's in her 80s, and she started talking to a guy online on social media who claimed that he was an astronaut, which, okay. How many Okay, it could be true. Could be somebody that is an astronaut. Well, basically, she started to fall in love with him. And one day he told her that he was in trouble, said that he was in space on a spaceship. He was under attack and he needed
By aliens?
He needed oxygen, probably. I don't know if he went into that many details, but he needed oxygen or he was going to die. So she sent him almost $7,000 for that much needed oxygen.
Oh, that's what. And then they go ahead and shoot it up to him.
Yeah. They get it to the.
Okay.
Anyway.
Budget cuts.
Oh, and
That's
I know
tough.
it happens all the time, but they're a little bit more convincing than an
Sure.
astronaut in space needing oxygen. Yeah.
How old was the
on,
individual
Beatrice.
she was
She was
falling
80.
in?
She was
Oh,
an
no,
80.
she's 80, but how
I
old
don't
was the
actually
astronaut?
know.
I mean,
he could have been 18 for all I know.
oh boy.
I don't know. You never know.
Yeah.
There's a Florida woman who met up with a man to sell some shoes last weekend. She had some shoes she was probably selling on, I don't know, maybe like something like a marketplace, right? And things got weird pretty quickly. So the woman told police that she met up with this guy, 28-year-old man. They met at a hotel, a strange destination, but either way, met at a hotel on Sunday afternoon to sell him a pair of used shoes. But she said when she got there, he asked to sniff her feet. She said, no, this is not cool. This is really weird. So she turned him down. He got upset. He grabbed the shoes and took off, running across the parking lot. Well, she said, well, hold up. Those are my shoes. So she took off after him as well. He ended up getting into an SUV, did a 3-point turn, and then hit her with his vehicle before driving away. Thankfully, she wasn't seriously injured. She did call the police. They arrested the guy, charged him with aggravated battery. And apparently, there are similar incidents on his record.
He's a foot sniffer?
Apparently so. A shoe thief and a...
Was she hot? Did they include a picture?
sniffer. I don't know. I don't know.
Heather, you better watch out with this garage sale you got coming up.
I only right now have one pair of used shoes.
Yeah, did you see what they smell like?
They're pretty much brand new. I used them maybe a couple of times. They're golf shoes.
Okay. Greg?
And they're
Not good. The way she doesn't wash her feet in the shower.
I know.
I would
It only
say
takes
they-
one time to make them stank.
my feet don't stink, nor do my shoes ever. Like my feet
I don't
get
think
sweaty.
it matters. I think the foot fetish person's just going to want to know that you wore them.
Well, they will be for sale
For all of you out there that
this
want
coming
to...
weekend.
Come one, come all.
Easy.
Stop. Heather with the news. AJ Hinch is next, 97.1.